Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the stream. How do I do this to make the screen smaller for me on here? Is it like this? No, doesn't work. What is going on? All right, hold on. Hold on, technical issues. Lower this down a little bit. Whoops. No. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather. I'm having like a sinus issue. So if I sound weird or my energy is a little off, that's the reason why. I also have to check on my internet. Apparently my internet's having issues too. So it's just a lot of stuff happening. Anyway, I don't want to start out on a low. So good to see everyone. Hope everybody's having a good night so far. Let's see here. How do I do this? I thought there was a way to make... There we go. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to shrink myself down since I'm here by myself right now. Give you guys some visual stuff to look at on either side. We are very close to New Year's. I have to work on Wednesday. I know it's going to be crazy, and I have a bunch of friends that are going to be coming over early, and then we have some plans to go out and visit some friends. So it's going to be a busy Wednesday. So I'm very happy to be here with everybody tonight, chilling and relaxing. It is a busy background, isn't it? It is a little busy. It's one of the... So StreamYard has this thing now where it will offer these pre-made backgrounds. And this is one of them. I don't know how I feel about it, though. I'm not sure. Are we liking it or are we not liking it? Let me know what you guys think. I'll change it if you don't like it. If the chat is like, we hate it, it's awful, I will change it. 100%. There we go. It's better. Too busy? I don't know. I like it. I think it's kind of cool. A couple things. It is the end of the month. The beginning of the new year will be... We will be live on the 1st. TBE means... to be explained. To be explained, which I will in 1 second. What was I saying? Oh, it's the beginning of the year. We're going to change a few things around here. And one of them, if you guys haven't seen already, we're going to do the announcement here and I'll talk about it again, is the return of Paigey. We're going to be doing a stream on Saturday. You may have heard of this podcast. It's called The After Party. I don't know if it's a new thing. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it before. It's a brand new idea and concept. But we're both really excited. We're both really, really excited. This is not a permanent background. It's just for tonight. I'm in the middle of making a new background for the next season of Nerdcast. So this is just a temporary background. Just like the little logo in the corner is temporary. Okay, so what is this? What is this stream going to be about? Because I know a lot of people have been asking questions. Is it a permanent return? That is to be determined. If we get a really good turnout on Saturday, if a lot of people show up and show support, we will consider bringing it back on a regular schedule. Maybe not every week, but a regular schedule. Once a month, twice a month, something like that. It really just depends on you guys. So if you know anyone that has been waiting for Paigey to return, or if you want this to be something that we consider doing, we need to see some support for this. I don't know what that metric is, but I just know that it needs to be big enough that people show up and really engage in order for us to make it a regular thing. It's just going to be me and Paigey. It's just going to be the two of us. It will always just be the two of us. If Paige is not available, we won't do the after party. It's going to be varied in topics, so you're going to hear a variety of topics from us. It's not always going to be about something that's happening right this moment. It could be CBM is comic book movie. I'll explain all the choices here in a moment on the thing. I just want to get through this quickly. Sorry. It's going to be a variety of topics. This week, since it is the return of Paigey, the topic is just the return of Paigey, right? Any questions you have for him, what he's up to, what he plans to do in the future with this channel. I'm not saying you're going to get a legitimate answer from him. You guys know how Paigey is. But you'll be able to ask him those questions on Saturday. He hasn't made a video in a really long time on his channel, and so I'm sure a lot of people are very curious. If you go into his comment section on the last video that he made, several people are wondering where he is. So that'll be covered on Saturday. What does he think of Peacemaker? What did he think of Superman? What does he think of the DCU? What does he think of the MC? All these are going to be questions that we can discuss on Saturday with Paigey. A lot of people have asked for this. So we're going to gauge how well this stream does on Saturday in this time slot. So make sure you make plans to be there to show support. We want to see those numbers up there. We want to see the engagement up there. And if it works out, we will schedule the next stream. If it's good, we will schedule the next stream during this stream here, this after party. Well, Chris, if you can't make it, you can't make it. It's fine. Well, Naruto, the after party is going to be whatever we want it to be. So it's no longer going to be just about specific topics like we're doing here on the Nerdcast. The after party will probably be more of like evergreen content, which is we'll talk about anything and everything. It's still going to be stuff that you guys will be interested in, right? It's not going to be random like stuff about the Real Housewives of Orange County or something like that. It's not going to be that, but it will be conversations about broad topics. It's going to be here on this channel. It'll be on the Eric's Reloaded channel. If you're watching on Eric Debunks, this podcast is just on Eric's Reloaded. That's the channel it'll be on. It's just for the Eric's Reloaded channel. So make sure you show up for that. I think it'll be a lot of fun. All right, let's see here. We did have a channel comment from South Texas Latin Shark. Did you hear BB No Money retired? I thought it was a joke. Is he really retiring? Because like Doja Cat and a lot of these newer artists, they like to troll. Lil Nas X, they like to troll. So let me know if it's a troll or if it's real. Let me know. Because I'm not sure. One second or one time or the other. If it's real. Let's see. Anything else over here? No, I think we're good. All right, so let's talk about the tiers on the ranking list on the Reloaded channel. Oh, crap. Hold on. My autoplay started playing. All right, we got somebody in the green room who I wasn't sure if they were going to be here or not, but they're here. There's Jake. Jake has arrived.
What's up?
Hey, I wasn't sure if you were going to be here or not.
Yeah, today ended up working. Thursday, it's unlikely, but made today work.
Okay. That's cool. We haven't even talked about anything yet. I was just talking about Paigey's return to the after party.
Who?
So on Saturday.
Who?
Paigey.
I know. That's me shit talking.
Is there a weird lag on StreamYard right now? Is that happening for everybody?
What do you mean weird lag?
Like just in general. Or, I mean, are you hearing me okay right now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
Okay.
So there will not be guests on the first episode, Reed, because I just want to bring Paigey back in and have everybody chat and stuff like that. Down the road, maybe if we are doing a topic that needs guests, but if not, it's just going to be the two of us because I don't know what the schedule is going to be like. So it's hard to really. It's easier to navigate one other person than it is like 3 or 4 other people.
Yeah,
So
our rate's expensive. He can't bring the rest of us on all the time.
yeah, exactly. All right, so let's go over what we got on the Reloaded channel. We've got it set today for it's the last stream of the year, so we're doing 10 super chats of any tier, of any.
Oh yeah,
So
Thursday is
one,
New Year's Day.
yeah. So 10 super chats at any tier. So $10 if you do $1 each would get us there. The options are there's only one top 5 in this list. Because I want us to get through all of our group stuff first before I do any more of those. Ranking. So that if we hit the poll, we're going to do ranking streams, a ranking stream for superhero films. So like we'll pick a group of films based on some criteria and we'll rank those. The other one is an essay video on the future of the DCU where I will bring in guests into a pre-recorded video to talk about what we want to see from the DCU. That will be, again, essay means heavily edited. So think documentary style videos.
Yeah.
A reaction of your choice to be explained. And to be explained means if that one wins, I will do another poll in the community tab for options of who you want me to react to. If that one wins. If it doesn't win, then it doesn't matter. And the only top 5 on here is top 5 worst comic book movie villains. So
did we already do that one?
No, not. We did something for like DCU and MCU, but we've never done just like a general comic book villain. So yeah, there we go. Those are the options for today. If we hit it, that's 10 super chats of any level. So literally $1 counts.
I'm wearing an appropriate shirt for one of these, or not shirt, hat for one of these topics.
Yeah, we're going to be talking a lot about that, actually. There's a lot of stuff to go over in regards to that. I was trying to find some 80 photos, but let's see. Because the trailer will definitely get snipped out of the video. Like, we won't, like, the teaser we look at will definitely get the stream in trouble. Okay, can I rant a little bit? Is that okay about this? I just want to rant about this a little bit. We were sitting in the other room, and several people were asking me the what?
About the whole
what would you say?
DeMayo thing, or
no, just the trailer stuff in general right now.
Oh,
like with Marvel.
Okay, apparently your chat is.
I don't know how.
I'm hearing it a little bit, but.
Oh. Is it my video or my audio that's lagging?
A mix.
All right, hold on one second. Let me try something. Let's see. Am I lagging now, or is it okay without the video?
I hear you fine now.
All right, hold on. All right, so it's better without the video on. Is that the truth? Is it?
I don't know. I mean, am I lagging?
I think the issue is I was using OBS as a virtual webcam, and I think it was causing lag.
Oh, okay. No lag for me. Okay, that's good.
All right, so I'm going to try to hold on. Let me do this. Video.
Oh yeah, Gwendolyn X is terrible.
All right, it's not letting me. It basically says my cam is not on. So hold on.
So, looks like it's just me for all of probably 20, 30 seconds. Um, I can't exactly highlight comments, but only one on the screen right now. This is pretty funny. Yeah, I'll just address the stuff that's here. It sucks. Yeah, it's the Jake show, pretty much.
All right,
Hey,
so I turned off the OBS. Let me know if I'm still lagging, everybody.
oh,
If I'm not lagging, then it was a virtual webcam. I'll just leave it off for the rest of the stream if that's the case. If that's what it was.
1 second. It's what? It's your stream.
Everything clear now? Quindolin says it is. So we'll just leave that off for the stream. I don't want to deal with fixing it till the stream's over. What is that? What do you listen to in the background?
Oh, Chainsaw calling me.
Oh.
That's why I was laughing so hard. Sorry.
Thuggish Ruggish Dome with a $2 super chat. Eric, I want to hire you to DJ my bar mitzvah. I think you asked me this before, and I gladly said that I would do it.
I feel like I've seen this before.
Yeah, I would do it, but you have to like literally go through my booking system. $2 isn't enough, my dude. but I do appreciate the $2 super chat. But yes, I will DJ almost anything if you're willing to pay me to do it. It's not that difficult, honestly.
$2 used to be able to get you so much.
Okay, so that fixed the lag. I'll just reinstall OBS afterwards.
Cool.
Are
you using Studio or
Streamlabs OBS?
Okay, yeah, that's what I use for recording and streaming also. Well,
let me just explain. I had it on for like almost a month without turning it off, so I think it just like had an issue.
Yeah, that would probably result in a problem.
So let me rant a little bit about this whole trailer thing or whatever. I was sitting with my friends. We were watching TV earlier, and
after you rant, I got to rant.
Okay. And they were like, "Oh, I heard an X-Men trailer came out for Doomsday." And I said, "Yes." And they said, "Can we watch it?" I said, "Probably not." And they said, "Why can't we watch it?" I said, "Because Marvel doesn't want people to see the trailer." And I sat there and I thought about it. This was like an hour and a half ago. And I'm like, I'm so annoyed that the way we promote something now is by making the trailers impossible to see. I don't... Like, what's the purpose of that? So, like, the more I think about it, the more it's annoying to me. Like, I'm okay with not seeing... Like, I don't have to see it. Like, it's not... That's not an issue for me, right? But the fact that they're so hidden is crazy to me.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
I think it's really stupid. You've got a studio that had a really rough year in 2025 for Marvel movies. And they want to try and make a comeback on that. But their way of doing that is by hiding the trailer in front of other movies and not releasing it on the internet. The buzz is there. If you look on the internet, Jake, people are excited.
But even then, they only put those snippets. They only put it in front of certain screenings, not even all the screenings.
Right.
Like for Avatar, only certain Avatar screenings got that.
But you can see that people are excited for it.
Yeah.
It's getting leaked all over the place. Like, I've seen really bad cuts of it, but I've also seen probably 20 fake AI trailers pretending to be the actual trailer for X-Men.
Oh, yeah. And there have been quote-unquote fake AI set photos that have been coming out for months now. But what gets to me is, especially with this X-Men teaser, the very sudden switch up that a lot of fans are playing. Like they're just crashing it, tearing it apart. But then as soon as it's something that they want to see and it's cool and that they like, all of a sudden they want to switch tones and say, oh, we've been excited for this the whole time. We haven't been acting like entitled asshats on the internet. We've been supporting the project the whole way through. No, you haven't.
Yeah.
taking it apart left, right, and center. But then as soon as something like this comes out, boom, switch. That
So
nerves.
I want to say the only difference though is this is manufactured. What they're doing now is totally manufactured. This is a pre-planned situation where they've decided they want to funnel the Avengers Doomsday trailers through select Avatar screenings.
Right. So, like, if you pay a good amount of money for Avatar, you might not even get that teaser.
So I know there's already been a high quality version of the Captain America trailer that is now online.
Yeah.
Is there a Thor one and an X-Men one that's high quality, or are those still missing?
No, they're still missing.
So we're not even getting...
There's theories that the Thor one is going to come out tomorrow because the Steve Rogers one released Tuesday last week. We're theorizing it's going to release Tuesday this week.
It's just
saying every week.
It's so frustrating to me as a fan. I want Marvel and X-Men to have a win. I want the Avengers Doomsday to have a win. This is not the way to do it.
No.
Because we can't even properly talk about it. If I were to show you a ripped version of the trailer, the stream would get flagged.
Yeah.
So I can't even have a conversation about that with you guys. And we know that Disney and Marvel are pretty relaxed now on reacting to trailers. Like if the trailer was actually out and we looked at it, it's a coin flip on whether or not we would have to remove it because they really don't care too much about that stuff anymore. It's mostly like Netflix and like a couple other studios that do it. Disney's been pretty relaxed on it, but Netflix is still rough. Paramount and Universal still rough. But they still want you to talk about their stuff. I've been very surprised that several of the trailers from Disney properties that I have reacted to recently, that they have still stayed in the stream. They haven't asked me to remove them from the stream, which is really interesting.
Yeah. I just wish it could go back to what, to what the general marketing buzz was like whenever we were in like the heydays of Infinity Saga, where people would speculate up to the trailers, build up that water cooler talk and just talk amongst people instead of trying to just, tear the things apart, put out versions of there that are not genuine and just really make the experience a lot worse for people.
Right.
And just generate some of that conversation, which is, I think at this point, just get the trailers out there officially so maybe people can kind of go back to that and then they'll stop trying to just dig.
Well, Chris, let me just kind of build the castle here, right? I don't feel good talking about it this way. This isn't exciting to me. It isn't exciting for me to have to do an Easter egg hunt to find a teaser for something that I'm already anticipating going and seeing, right? It's not fun. It's not exciting as a fan. For me, there's no net positive to this because you could get the buzz if you just drop the trailer. Like if they had just dropped the X-Men trailer, they would have even more buzz than they have right now because of the fact that the trailer would be out and people would be talking about it with screenshots of the trailer, right? Now we have to sort of circumvent the process to talk about it. And then the casual fans, the ones who are even less engaged than we are, can't find it at all.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing now is a bunch of AI trailers come in. I have seen so many people sharing AI trailers of the X-Men leak from the Avengers Doomsday stuff that it's hard for me to even react to it. I've got friends who are, again, just what you would call quote unquote normies or casuals to all this, who are like, hey, did you see the trailer that had Rogue flying in it? And I'm like, there's no trailer with Rogue flying in it connected to Avengers Doomsday. But they think it is because Disney thinks it's really brilliant to hide their marketing so that all of the scummy AI places can literally fill in the gaps for people. And that's not good.
No, because it doesn't accurately promote the movie.
No.
It doesn't accurately promote what the product is.
And that's the issue is you have people. Okay, so I would say, and chat, you can disagree with me if you want. You know how I am. If you feel free to disagree with me, go ahead. But I would say one of the biggest problems that Marvel has had in the last few years is unfulfilled expectations of what these movies are going to be. And right now, with Avengers Doomsday being like the big flagship movie they're promoting at the moment, right? If you have AI trailers that are showing characters flying around and doing stuff that are not in the movie and you don't have an official trailer out, all you're doing is creating that problem for yourself, because now you're going to have a bunch of people that are going to see these AI trailers and they're going to think that this is a promotion for that movie. They're going to go and see the movie, and then none of that stuff is going to be in it. And they're not going to be mad at the AI trailers for that. They're going to be mad at Marvel and Disney for putting out a movie that didn't have the stuff they want in it. That's what's going to happen.
That's the fandom fault.
No, but it affects the movies because Disney is being stupid about this promotion. I don't think there's a net positive to what they're doing. I know Chris here says that we're still talking about it. Chris, I would be talking about it whether the trailer was out or not out. So that doesn't really mean anything to me. You know what I mean? But the casual audience, the ones that make up the bulk of the ticket sales, they're the ones that are getting bait and switched by AI studios. Well, it's not just YouTube, though. It's Facebook. It's Instagram.
Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok.
It's everywhere. Yeah, YouTube can remove them, but they can't remove it from everywhere.
And even then, they can just get re-uploaded again and again.
I just think it's dumb. I don't think there's any Chris goes here. People bitching about ShareWatch. It's a great job. People are still bringing this up. The current strategy of promo is bullshit. Okay, glad you clarified that. Let me ask you guys a question. And Jake, I want to know your opinion too, obviously. Would we not be having a much more exciting conversation if we could just look at a high quality version of the trailer than sitting here talking about the rip stuff that we are seeing on TikTok and YouTube?
Oh, yeah. Because we would know, like, for 100% that's something that they're showing us deliberately.
So annoying. And I want my friends to be excited, but I can't even find a trailer to share it with them. I can't say, here's the real trailer. Stop looking at AI. Here's a link to the real trailer. I can't even do that because there is no way to watch it.
I'm just over the AI shit.
So now we'll be talking about the Thor trailer this week when we finally get a proper version of it. But by then, people will have moved on from that because they're talking about X-Men.
And then I imagine that the quote-unquote fourth one that we might get is probably going to be all about Doom.
Right. Follow Gemini says, I agree with Eric. I saw a clear leaked Doomsday Thor trailer last week where essentially the real trailer, except whoever uploaded added CGI post titles. Yeah, exactly. They're taking and upscaling the leaks to make it look like it's the real trailer and then throwing in additional stuff that's not there. I saw a 10-minute video today that said leaked X-Men teaser for Doomsday or whatever. In that 10 minutes, 30 seconds of it was upscaled footage that was actually leaked, and the rest of it was completely made up stuff.
I think I saw the one you're talking about.
It was on YouTube.
Yeah,
even though YouTube supposedly bans that stuff now. I just so frustrating.
Would, like all the people that are trying to make shit with AI and tear stuff out and spoil it for people. I just wish they would stop acting so damn entitled and just wait for the fucking movie.
Yeah. Cody coming in with our 1 out of 10 super chats here on the Reloaded channel with a $5 super chat. The last time he did something like this was the Multiverse of Madness trailer at the end of No Way Home. Yeah, but see, again, these were all things they did.
That's a different discussion.
Yeah. I feel like what we're dealing with now is totally manufactured hype. You know what I mean? Like it is a contained hype that they've tried to sort of science, you know what I mean? Like they're like, if we do it this way and we release it this way, money will go over here, and then we'll also get people talking about this, and then we'll wait a week and release it, and by then the other trailer will be out. It feels so convoluted and manufactured. It's just like the chair reveal stuff. Yes, we talked about that.
Yeah,
but it was annoying.
But it was also one thing and not a bunch of unnecessary pieces.
Yeah. I just want to be able to tell people, hey, all of those AI trailers you're looking at are fake. Here's the real teaser. That's all I want to be able to do. And then I want to get on here with you guys as a fan who wants this to succeed to look at that trailer together and talk about it that way, instead of talking about leaks that we've seen where we can't show anything.
Yeah. And for the most part, Disney has been pretty good over the last couple of years of realizing that all of their, reactions, breakdowns, and everything in between is just free press. It's free marketing. For the most part, they've been pretty good about that. And granted, maybe too good to a fault, because they're not, they're not coming out and saying, "Hey, yeah, all this shit's fake."
Right.
So
I want to also point out that How can I put this? I'm trying not to be like too cynical about it. So we all want the movie to be good. I think we all we want to go into this movie and have a good time. But I believe that from what anecdotally from what I see on the internet, right? The X-Men are the thing that most people are excited about. I don't think Captain America or Thor moved the needle as much as the X-Men teaser did. Is that a fair statement? I'm trying not to sound like negative towards the other stuff.
Yeah, it's not cynical if it's true.
Darren's share stream was pretty hype.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, he did a live thing of the chair.
Like the whole thing, like watching it as it went by or whatever. Yeah.
If I wasn't working that day, I would have so joined in. But
yeah. So Solemn here says, "Wait, sorry, you're saying it's manufactured hype through the paywall trailer? How Disney is manufacturing hype through fake leaks?" I think it's manufactured because it feels like they're trying to calculate how all of this is done in a way to emotionally fuck with fans.
Because they're also letting the fake leaks go unaffected.
Yeah. So the fake leaks aren't the manufactured hype. I actually think that's the negative part of it. Like the fake leaks are the part that I think is a negative byproduct of what's going on. The manufactured hype is that someone at Disney and Marvel, sitting behind a desk, probably a few people, decided that it was in their best interest to strategically leak out these teasers through showings of Avatar, and in a way to, I don't know, bolster Avatar, which is already doing really good anyway. I think it's like almost 800 million already, and it's had a very tiny drop from weekend to weekend. So that movie's going to be just fine. It'll probably cross 1 billion by the end of this weekend coming up. But they try to do that, but Marvel isn't not in a position to do this. They're walking around like they still have the biggest dick in the room, essentially. And I don't think that that's the case. I don't think that they are holding all the cards, right? I think that Marvel needs to start understanding that fans want to be excited about something, and we don't want it to feel like it's a made-up thing. And right now, what's happening is a made-up thing. The first bit of legitimate hype that I think I've seen is this X-Men stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody... To be fair, I'm fine with Chris Evans coming back as Captain America, but I didn't really give a fuck about that. It's like, okay, whatever. Well,
Cap.
Steve, yeah. Thor coming back, fine. I knew Thor was going to come back because they're going to do the Thor cop storyline probably with Secret Wars and Battle
Well, everybody knew that was coming back. His name was on the chair.
Yeah. So that didn't really move anything for me. Even though we knew the X-Men were coming back, the thing we didn't know is what it was going to look like. And in the teaser, we got to see Cyclops in a comic book accurate version of his costume using crazy ass optic blast like visuals against a Sentinel. And it was very short. But that's what we saw. For me, that shows that there is a huge interest in what Marvel is going to do with the X-Men. And it also tells me the X-Men are the future of Marvel right now.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
I mean, they could be the thing that really takes the next saga forward, because Feige said that he has a 10-year plan for the X-Men. So, I mean, they could carry the franchise on their backs. I still want to see more of these other characters.
Yeah.
But, like I would not be upset if they, got the due justice they were needed. What's up, Ronan?
Hey, what's up? Ronan has arrived.
What's up, y'all?
The
only
thing I'm worried about is that, and people have they tried to bite back at me constantly with this, is that, and granted, this isn't my biggest issue, because I mean, at the end of the day, I just want the movie to succeed and I want it to be good. Mm-hmm. But there's also the fact of the matter that it could be, what's the word? Too expensive to succeed, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Even if it makes $1 billion, it could still lose money. So that's already people have to face.
Well, but at this point, I think that they anticipate that between the two films, they're going to make like over $2 billion between these two films.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're anticipating. Ronan, have you seen the leaked X-Men thing?
I am going out of my damnest way not to see stuff. And again, people have been doing thumbnails stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, generally know what's going into it, but the context and the stuff leading up to it is what I don't know.
Well, if it
And
makes you feel any better, I haven't been able to really see a clean copy of any of these trailers either, so I don't.
that's fine, but
I don't know.
it's just shocking to me that like we haven't even had the I don't even want to mention the character, but like in the second teaser, from what I've been hearing and seeing, is that there's a specific character that's for that teaser that hasn't been pulled out yet. And if my math is right, I think tomorrow we might get a teaser, the second teaser that they've been hinting at rolling out, and then like the one that leaked yesterday or the day before, it's not gonna be for another week. And I'm just like, God damn it! Like that's and everyone's saying like, well, just release that one. That one's the best one yet. And I'm like,
by the time that third one comes out officially, the fourth one is probably going to leak somewhere, and then all their attention's going to be on that one.
Well, that's what we were just saying before you got here. Is that the way they're doing this is by time the trending cycle has ended, we're finally getting the trailer. It's like I don't want to discuss a trailer that I can't even really watch in here with people, or even look at screenshots with it because it'll get flagged. That's not fun as a fan. It's not fun. You know,
I did a audio reaction for the first one just because that one just blew up out of nowhere, and I was part of the belief. I'm like, is this AI or is this real? And I'm like, nope. This tracks over every scoop, leak, theory I've been hearing for the past few months leading up to any potential release of footage or marketing for that film. And I dropped my audio reaction, and it did okay. And I'm glad that people liked it and whatnot. But I was just like, and again, it could be selfish, but I'm just like, for what I've been hearing for this one is that the hint is so like good that I don't even want to like just rely on having to just shoot shit, audio wise or like piracy wise, just to get clicks and whatnot. Like, no. I want to experience it and tell you why I waited this long.
Yeah.
Not to watch this leaked version. Like Steve Rogers is one thing, but
yeah,
the X-Men, that's a whole nother thing.
Well, here's the thing, Harrison. I feel the same way that they understand one half of viral marketing. They understand the way that they can like slowly leak this stuff out and get people excited about it. The part they don't understand is the fans drive. Like right now, the fandoms are driving the interest in these properties. That's where you're getting that drive from. By making things so difficult for actual fans who are also creators and influencers and stuff to push that stuff back out and remix it for fans to engage with. By not doing that, they're missing a big portion of it. And I don't know why they're so adamant on doing that. I don't understand what purpose that serves. Again, all of this stuff feels so controlled and manufactured. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, I think new Rockstars probably did a video on this leaked trailer, and their thumbnail like teased a lot, and I was like, I want to watch it, guys, but not yet until I fully experience it on HD or on 4K. If Marvel and Disney have the money to release a 4K version of the trailer, but I can't wait to dive into that trailer and put out stuff that I go into it, and I'm gonna tell people like, yo, take this with a grain of salt, and I'm just telling you this from my perspective and my experience with the franchise in this corner of Marvel. And I doubt this stuff would happen, but if they wanted to hint at this and release this as promo for a movie, then what the hell are they hiding for the movie? And I really hope, and I know Drake loves the movie, but I really hope it's not in the Multiverse of Madness scenario for me, where like the first teaser trailer, we should tell them the truth, and it's like, oh, they're willing to show this? What are they going to show in the movie? And it's like the same thing, except snap. And I was like, all right, beyond that, like, hold on to it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really bothered with that one because going into that initial teaser, and this is just my perspective on it, when that first trailer came out and, you heard Patrick's voice, I saw people saying that, that indicated that there was going to be a whole, shit ton of cameos. And I honestly, I just don't agree with that. The teaser was going to be a little bit, and there was, then they held a little bit back, but they really didn't tease a ton of cameos or other actor appearances in the trailers themselves.
I think what they teased was that the possibilities of what they were going to do with a movie called The Multiverse of Madness, which I was just like, oh, okay. Then when I saw the movie, like, And again, it's perspective. Me and Jake see it differently.
Right.
But what's ironic about this one that leaked, and I told this to Jake that I had recently just got this as like a self Christmas present to myself.
Got that.
Because I got the first issue show, and I was like, I want to read what Gail Simone is writing. I'm a huge fan of hers, and I finished already. I'm like, oh, it's so good. But I'm like, but I don't want to talk about this until the that's officially out, because I could talk about lineups, I could talk about teams, I could talk about the stuff, something I already know about this one that I'm like, yo, is that a reference to this? But then there's a creator, there's a creator right now online who's gone through controversial stuff for the past few years, who was part of a successful, unique project in this corner of Marvel. Does that tie into it? Is that connection? And then it's a rabbit hole that I can't wait to fall into. But I want it clean. I don't want to fall into it and then hit branches and like be like, oh no, okay, I got that wrong. And I put it to you this way: I had someone see it, and their facial reaction from afar, I was just like, oh, that shit's good. But god damn it, I don't want to.
Yeah. I'm with you there. Like, there are, like, little bits and snippets where I'm like, I think I know what you're doing. I think I know, but I don't want to prematurely see it,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had seen some set photos on Instagram. And again, I didn't go look for them, but they're just appearing on Instagram. And I'm like, that doesn't look like AI. That looks real. And then I'm like, oh shit, no, don't do the math. Don't do the math right now with what you know about this.
But no, I mean, like that little bit that me and Ronan just had about multiverse. Yeah, we see it differently, but we're not tearing each other apart over it. See, it's similar.
So Staggervore here, the 49 in Super Chat says, maybe I'm being too optimistic, but I think it's possible that there are surprises in the Doomsday film that Marvel doesn't want us to know. Oh, there's probably tons of surprises that they want us to know about.
I mean, just on characters alone, like, think of all the characters that we do know are appearing. Think about what they didn't tell us.
Right. I mean, these are 3-hour movies. So, I mean, that's a lot of time. We haven't even seen 3 minutes of footage yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's kind of like we're going on internet scoops and stuff like that and possible AI stuff. But Ronan, I did say something that kind of ties into this before you got here. And that is the damage that AI could do to people's expectations for these movies, because I've seen trailers that friends of mine have sent from like Facebook and stuff that show like Rogue flying around or Gambit doing all kinds of stuff in AI that looks like Channing Tatum, but it's not from any official like sources or whatever.
Stuff too.
Yeah, it's like Staggervore here is saying there's probably stuff we don't know, and I agree with that. I think there's probably a ton that we haven't seen, obviously, in these long ass movies. But at the same time, these AI trailers, I think, are a massive problem for expectations and causes people to feel very jaded about these projects when they come out of them.
So what I wish they would do is, go to a similar marketing tactic. And again, maybe this only worked for that movie, but I look back at how they marketed, Avengers Endgame, for example, whenever that was out. First, they went like 8 months after Infinity War came out before you even knew the title of the next movie. So that was one thing on its own. But then they were only allowed, and I looked into this extensively, the marketing team was only allowed 8 minutes of footage to use across all of their trailers. And they did it without showing any dead characters. They showed you bits that were lacking a lot of context, clips of full scenes, and people were still getting really, riled up about those. They were still getting excited, but they didn't feel as though the movie were ruined for them. They didn't go into that movie thinking, oh man, like, have we seen too much, or thinking that they did, and walking out of it, they're like, okay, I know that movie was not ruined by the trailers. And I feel like this should use the same thing, because again, these are long movies. Just tell your marketing team, hey, you can use this amount of footage to market it, because we don't want to give a lot away. You'd be surprised how much out of context simple shots can excite people.
Yeah, it's weird, man, because again, I remember watching the Deadpool and Wolverine set photos in a video of like the fight. And then lo and behold, I remember seeing a photo of a character that was there that wasn't when I was like, wait, what? But I was like, wait a minute, no. If I was in charge of the studio, I'd be like, no, hold that character for something like Doomsday or Secret Wars. Like, don't do it here. Like just Deadpool Wolverine is enough. You don't need, the whole candy store right now.
Right.
So
And,
I do,
that
yeah.
movie wasn't designed for that.
Yeah, and I do agree that like a lot of stuff can be dangerous, especially right now with, and again, I don't really use it that much except for promoting stuff and whatnot, and sometimes engaging in like gifs and memes. But like, we are living in an era where TikTok is the way people take in entertainment, and they want it at that speed and rate. And when
Yeah.
something like that is messed around, I told it to Jake, and I probably told it to you. I remember seeing a FF First Steps teaser where it hinted at the Council of Reeds, and I'm like, there's no fucking way they're gonna do it in the first movie. Like that's not how you come in with the first film and whatnot. I would hope people would be logical and be like, A, does this look right, feel right, and would this be in a promo for a movie that's highly anticipated and is doing its best to hold its potential best moments for the film and not for a fucking minute time worth of commercials just to get clicks and the marketing going up? I don't know.
Because a lot of the shit you can look at and you just have a gut reaction to where you go, that doesn't look quite right, or that doesn't look like it belongs.
Yeah.
And with how AI ridden the entertainment world has become, in my opinion at least, it's gotten easier and easier to tell whenever something doesn't look quite right. So,
Yes. Well, there's also the way the camera moves in shots. You can kind of tell their focal point. They kind of get fixated on one.
that, but also
spot.
you'll see, like, and this is one that I always stress whenever I'm like, on one of these shows with you guys and we're watching something that's clearly AI. What do I always stress time and time again? Watch the bodily patterns of the people in the trailer and see how often they repeat. Like in this motion I'm doing with my hands right now. See how often people do that exact same motion.
Yeah.
It's really easy to pick up on those patterns.
So I know you haven't seen the teaser yet, Ronan, but did you
I stayed away from it too.
Did you guys hear anything about it other than the who's in the trailer?
Besides that, all I've been hearing is that this is the best thing they put out yet, and this is. This is, and then people at first I would say that this should have been the only thing they put out. Like this is enough to be like, okay,
yeah,
this is
with that.
I don't know if you heard or not before you got here. I said this is the first time I think the needles moved out of all the teasers was this X-Men.
Honestly, I could have seen that and not even needed the Steve thing.
Yeah, and what else? I may or may not have seen a screenshot of a sign, and I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I don't want to talk about specifically what's in the trailer, but we do know that Cyclops is in the trailer, right? You guys understand that, right? That's not something that's like a secret. Okay. So Beau DeMayo made some comments about that, and that's before I pulled it up. I just want to make sure that you guys had seen Cyclops. And I made a video about this earlier, so I'm not going to go back into every single thing about that, but I want to read this and then get everybody's opinions about it, because I think that we might have some varied opinions in chat. I want you guys to chime in as well. I do know we have some super chats that we will look at after we're done with this particular section. So if you guys want to talk about something different, go ahead and drop your super chats now. Help us get to that goal, and we'll discuss it between topics. All right, so Beau DeMayo, in case anybody in the chat isn't familiar, was the showrunner for X-Men 97, Season 1, and worked on Season 2, but was let go before Season 1. I think it was like right before Season 1 aired, right? It was like literally right before the season started.
Right before the premiere, even, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like end of February.
And we don't know for sure what he did, but the accusations have been things like sending inappropriate photos to other people on staff, making inappropriate comments around people, making people feel uneasy. These are all things that they said he was doing. And he has gone on to do stuff like that since it's happened, but then claims that that wasn't actually happening. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it seems like you do sort of push it a little bit, but these are still accusations. Nothing else has been said. And I think it's probably because Marvel and Beau probably had a parting of ways that they agreed not to discuss details of it, is what I'm guessing. So anyway, in the teaser, we got to see Cyclops. There's some other stuff in it. I won't get into it, but it looks really good. And it's Cyclops, literally just Cyclops using his optic blast in a comic accurate suit. That's all we really see of Cyclops in the teaser, okay? The suit looks great, though, from what I can tell. But Beau says here, it's important as fans to honor the artists that brought this to fruition. The X-Men 97 and I faced, I think he meant team. The X-Men 97 team and I faced significant doubt and resistance from the studio when I insisted Cyclops be the main character instead of Wolverine. So it's weird to see the trailer and fans crediting certain folks for honoring Cyclops when this was a direct pivot that occurred only after X-Men 97's unexpected success. How do you know this? How does he even know this?
It's weird because, like, again, I haven't not seen the whole thing, and I know the teaser of him in the teaser. I'm like, well, yeah, I know that. I know that yes, 97 is the last time I felt he was actually cool and compassionate and something that I could connect to. I get that.
Mattered, yeah.
But the problem is, you guys understand, we only saw like 3 seconds of him in this teaser, right?
That's what I figured. I'm like, okay,
right.
Yeah.
So how does he know this? How does he know that Cyclops is anything that he's expecting him to be? How does he know that he's anything like the Cyclops from X-Men 97? He hasn't seen anything.
He doesn't.
The only way, and again, I wouldn't credit him. But, well, I always take this stuff with a grain of salt, but I do know people in Hollywood talk, and maybe he does still have some friends in the Marvel Studios, and maybe some people who are working on the movie who have to work on the X-Men corner. They're like, oh, by the way, text ...
I would say that would get people in trouble though, because they probably know who he knows, and then that person would probably get in a lot of trouble for telling him about this stuff. So I don't look, Ronan. You work out there, and it's possible that is how it sort of leaked out. But I would think it would also be something that Marvel would like, and Disney would say.
You would hope.
Yeah,
right.
like
and see, like, speaking as like, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn with this, but I just want to come at it from this perspective. Speaking as somebody who does, like, have relationships with some of those people, like I've messaged a number of them. I even got a holiday message from one of them. I don't go into those people's message threads asking them, "Hey, what's the deal with A, B, and C?" I don't do that. I very well. But I don't. I'm not that kind of person.
Let me tell you why. I'm going to play Sherlock Holmes for a second. I don't think he had any information ahead of time because he waited until the teaser came out before he posted this tweet.
Yeah.
If he knew this stuff, he would have already said something about it, like before this, and he didn't. Yeah. He waited till the teaser came out.
Just to quote, he would have done it.
All right. Then he gives a shout out here to some people that helped him with his vision of Cyclops, which is fine. And then he goes, "It does. This is. I don't think this is." Okay, put it this way. I don't think that this statement is wrong in the sense of what he's saying, but I think that it's misguided because this is really all about him. This constant back and forth with Disney and Marvel really is just a Beau v. Disney Marvel situation. He says, "It does trouble me that I've seen Kevin and Marvel Studios credit Jon Favreau and other white creators for setting the tone and direction of the MCU, but completely ignoring the work of many Black, queer, Asian, and Latino teammates that actually set the tone and proved to Marvel, who was still on the Logan train, that Cyclops deserves his due." Context, please? Like, I'm not saying that this isn't true. Marvel absolutely has a problem with honoring people that work for the company of any background. They literally only focus on like a handful of people when they're really doing shout outs and stuff. But what is the context on this? Why are you coming after Jon Favreau? Did Jon Favreau personally denounce something that has diversity in it or something? Like, I don't understand why. This is the same shit that happens a lot of times on social media where it's like you name drop people in a statement, like something negative towards the company, and what happens is people don't go after the company, they go after the person that you name drop. Because Jon Favreau, look, I'm not saying that Jon Favreau has or hasn't done it, but bring the receipts. If you're going to say he did it, bring the receipts.
Yeah, hearsay doesn't do it anymore.
But it is true. This part right here, ignoring the work of Black, queer, Asian, and Latino teammates. Yes, that is true. In general, specifically, the diverse elements of their teams, yes, they have done that. But please connect the dots for me here on what you're talking about when you mention Jon Favreau. Because I want to understand what that means.
Well, bringing in specific names like that, a large amount of the time, it's people trying to get the spotlight off of them and say, hey, look into this other person.
It says, this counters the belief that DEI pushes the agenda when you have Marvel's most diverse team all united behind Cyclops. So he's saying here, let me translate this for everyone in case this is a little bit too complex. He is saying that the reason why Cyclops wasn't getting any credit is because it counters the DEI aspect of the team being led by someone who is a person other than a white man. That's what he's saying. He's saying that's why Marvel didn't want to do it, is because Cyclops is a white guy and they didn't want to have a white guy leading a team of diverse people. That's what he's saying in the statement. I know it's hard to understand. That's why I'm telling you guys what this is. Because this argument, Cyclops deserves to do. It says this counters the belief that DEI pushes agendas when you had Marvel's most diverse team all united behind Cyclops, a.k.a. a white guy. That's what he's saying.
No, I get that. But I would think, and again, who knows? Because again, time, age, people's mind, who knows where people are at right now in charge of the studio. But I would think they would look at what happened with the X-Men movies in the Fox era, which I admit I'm a fan of those films, and I admit that they are not 100% accurate to the X-Men all the way, but they do get some stuff right. I would think they would have the cojones enough to be like, oh yeah, Hugh Jackman is the star, but if you really want to do that group, that team, that book, it's justice. We can't rely on the eye candy to lead the team and do that. We're not going to do that again. Like, whether people are into it or not, we'll have someone like Cyclops who has been made fun of for the longest time as a pushover, and then we look at it, and I would think that they would know that, like, okay, eventually at one point, why don't we not have him lead the team? You have somebody else, like, I don't know, Aurora Monroe.
She's been like the secondary leader for years now.
Yeah, and again, for the uninitiated, the X-Men have, what is it, blue team, gold team, or blue squadron, gold squadron? No, blue team. Yeah, they have blue and gold, the two different types of teams that form the X-Men. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Jake. You has always been like Cyclops is leading one team, and Aurora is leading the other team.
Yeah.
And right now, if I'm not mistaken, right now Rogue is leading the team right now. So I get what he's saying, but I would give him the benefit of the doubt that they're not going to make mistakes that should be easy to spot right before they relaunched the X-Men.
So when they So there was a rebrand of Blue and Gold in the 2010s called Resurrection. It was with the X in there. You had Gold led by Kitty Pryde, and then you had Blue led by Magneto. So still different people, like still obviously like a woman leading one of them. So it's not just relying on Cyclops and Storm. The leaders change with the stories.
But I want to point out here, if you think about it, let's look back at some of the live action X-Men stuff that we've had over the years, not counting any of the cartoons, right? So we've had the X-Men movies. And the X-Men movies, with the exception of Mystique, have mostly centered around white guys. Old white guys, young white guys.
Mystique. Say that again.
The majority of the live action X-Men movies that Fox put out, with the exception of Mystique, who obviously in the second iteration of those films was kind of pushed as like one of the lead characters. Almost all of the other lead characters have been either white guys or white people in the Fox X-Men universe.
Sure. I mean, I would give Halle Berry some notion that like Storm was there, although it is a take of Storm. I know for me, New Mutants, I think it's mostly Daniel Moonstar who's that, but yeah, for the most part, it's mostly been Hugh.
Right. I'm saying the balance is mostly right. Yeah. So his argument here falls down for me because he's acting like they've had diverse leaders of the X-Men in the live action movies for so long. That's why they didn't want to put Cyclops as the lead. That's a false statement. That's not true. Having Cyclops not as the lead, there's a lot of reasons. If you read comic books, you will know why Cyclops typically isn't the leader of the X-Men post like the 80s and early 90s. Because he's been a very controversial character over the years.
It's very soap opera-ish.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And it goes all the way back to the fucking 80s, if you want to be honest, when Madeline Pryor was introduced, and he had a kid, and all of this other shit around Jean Grey, and then the Phoenix, and all that other bullshit, and then the Goblin Queen shit, all that stuff. It goes all the way back to that, right? He has not been well loved because of decisions the writers had him make in the comic. He's not a real person. So he's how people wrote him, right? So these are the decisions the writers made for this character back in the day. And he's never fully recovered from that.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it.
97 was the first time he had gotten put into spotlight again.
Yeah.
Because, like, in direct opposition to the movies, he was competent, he was a leader, he was badass in the field, and not directly, but throughout that entire season, you never felt like Wolverine was the leader of that team. You always knew it was Cyclops.
Well, Wolverine never wants to be a leader. That's the thing.
No.
Wolverine doesn't want that role. He doesn't want it. He even hates it when the Sweeties left in charge at school. There's plenty of comic books where you see him where he's the one person left, and he's like he fucking hates him. He hated that back in the day.
Yeah, like the whole issue with Kitty Pryde, whenever she's trying to get closer with him in one of the new X-Men books, I believe it is, and not saying new as in recent, like the ones from 20 years back.
Yeah,
he's just being kind of a grumpy old dick the entire time, and she's trying to get closer with him. She eventually does, but yeah, he hates the chaperone position that he's left in.
So then he goes on here. He says, more disheartening, right? More disheartening is seeing fellow artists like the Russo brothers, we're dragging them into this now, completely ignoring our hard work and contributions. Bro, the movie isn't even out yet. But the movie isn't even out yet. How do you know they're ignoring you?
Yeah, I would be shocked if at any point when we see interviews or marketing leading up closer to the movie that they don't mention X-Men 97. I would be really shocked if they don't mention X-Men 97 because. And again, I'm gonna give the credit to Beau and his team that 97 is the best X-Men thing thus far.
I agree.
And now the MCU's hard work just double because you have to. Not say you have to beat that, but you have to reach that same level or go beyond it. You can't just rely on the old Fox movies anymore.
No.
But I would say here, so there's a.
And I haven't heard them talking trash or.
No, that's the thing. It's not like they've gone. They have not claimed. Here's the thing. None of the people that he's named here, none of these people that he's named have ever claimed any responsibility for any of this stuff. None of them have.
I do think that and I've also had similar and it's nitpick, personal things that I would appreciate more if Kevin Feige was at the X-Men 97 premiere and seeing this is Marvel Television, but at Marvel Studios, I'm so happy that we got this to come to fruition and that. None of the rest of the world can do that. I remember having similar issues when Kathleen Kennedy would not be at every single big Rebels event, and it's yo, this is probably the best thing you've been putting out in the studio, and it's an animation, it's a TV show. I get behind it. I know the marketing and the movies and the Vanity Fair and New York Magazine interviews, but get behind this thing that's objectively or popularly the most successful thing you've got going. And so I don't get that notion, but I don't see Kevin or the Russos throwing 97 on the bus. I mean, to be quite frank, if they were engaged in that Discord right now, I'd be yo, you got a 3-hour movie to edit and get it right. Don't focus on this stuff, this notion that get the movie in the can, and then you can engage with talks about this if you want to, which again, I would be shocked if either Kevin or the Russos would bring it down.
But here's the other thing. These are teasers, right? These are teasers about this. Why would the Russo brothers go out now and start spoiling something about the movie by saying anything about X-Men 97 and any sort of connection to X-Men 97? This is a knee-jerk reaction from somebody who's coming off very, very fucking self-serving with Beau DeMayo. And I want to be Team Beau because he did a fucking great job on X-Men 97. But this kind of shit is just not it for me. He goes, and then we did it with a quarter of the resources and supplies they've been given. So what?
And
what does that even mean?
Yeah, I get that because I've heard stories about recent shows, big animated shows that also got a treatment that I was not aware of. I didn't believe until I heard it. So I get that notion, but don't add that as an excuse or a reason why, I'm trying to be respectful.
Yeah.
This feels like what the fuck? They're throwing shit at us, but my dick is better. And my dick is bigger. It feels like a dick measuring contest. And why is there a need for that right now?
But let's look. So Jon Favreau here and Russo brothers, who have said nothing negative about Beau DeMayo, and as far as I know, didn't have anything to do. Kevin Feige, none of these people had anything to do with whatever happened with him on the show, or with his show or whatever. He's sitting here calling them out for stuff that, like, they've never, these are people that have never said anything negative. As far as I know, have never said anything negative about him or X-Men 97. So now because they're not sucking his dick, there's a problem?
Favreau is in post-production of Mando and Grogu. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Like, the man's busy. He's got stuff to do.
I will totally be on Team Beau if the movie comes out and rips off X-Men 97 and doesn't give them any credit. I will totally be on Team Beau for that. I'll be like, yeah, fuck these guys. I can't believe they did it. However, we don't know that's what they're going to do. And I'm not going to be a fucking hater channel where I'm like, let's fucking hate this movie because Beau DeMayo got in his feelings about a 3-second teaser of Cyclops. Like, no.
I'll do this. I promise this from Ronin Unchained, from my channel, from my corner of the internet. When I get to finally see this teaser in HD, officially released, and I do a reaction, and then I do probably a breakdown or review separate video, I will happily shout out 97's team, Beau and Chase Conley, Emmy Unamaro, and everybody else who worked on it. I will happily give them the roses and be like, "Yo, because of y'all, y'all put the X-Men back on a pedestal that can rival the Avengers." And
I also want to point out,
had to have their flowers too.
Exactly.
I also want to point out how awkward is it to be still members of the team while Beau is doing this and calling your names out. You know what I mean? Like, how awkward is that? Say, for example, I was working on a project still employed by Marvel and Disney, and one of the ex-employees who I worked with decides to constantly name drop me in these fucking diatribes going after Marvel. You know what I mean? And going after Disney. It's got to be awkward. It's got to be awkward.
Of Capone's points, because a lot of the story beats from 97, Beau didn't create those story points on his own.
No, that's the thing.
He's not giving credit to those other people.
That's what I'm saying. I searched. Look, I went on Beau's page to see if he had ever talked about any of the writers. There's like 3 tweets over the last 3 years about Chris Claremont, and they're simply reply tweets. He doesn't do this. He doesn't give love to the writers and the people who made the things he's adapting, which is why it's fucking crazy that he's doing this to these guys when he's literally adapting other people's work.
Yep, and he's complaining when he doesn't get the response.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this whole thing is crazy. It's crazy. Like, Beau, you're not doing it. You're not doing it. You're not out here sucking their dicks. You're not out here fucking talking about Chris Claremont, Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, John Byrne, all the people that made these stories that you're adapting. You're not out here doing that. Do you credit them every time you do something? Shout out to all these guys. He doesn't do that. It's an unrealistic expectation to have any of these people in a position where all they do is shout out Beau DeMayo and fucking everybody on X-Men 97. It doesn't make sense.
No, it's like he's feeding into the same problem he's complaining about.
I've only heard him like consistently give a shout out to Eric and Julia Lewell, the showrunners of the original show. And from time to time, I think maybe Larry Houston, who should also be getting.
And then like maybe Mark Edens would get a note here and there, but
but then again, like I would, here's the thing, right now a very famous director, who's shooting his own movie, has been putting out photos almost on a daily basis on his Instagram, about a particular version of an era of a big IP DC. Why doesn't if he feels this passionate about recognition, why doesn't Beau do this and be like, here's a shout out to Chris Claremont, here's a shout out to John Byrne, to Louis Simonson, to the creator of Dazzler, to the creator, give a page that
if you're gonna do this, be about it yourself. Like, do it yourself.
I'm not making this a dick measuring contest, but James Gunn does this whether we like it or not. I love it that he gets whenever it's an anniversary of, like, this is the first appearance of Lex Luthor, or the first appearance of I don't know, Weasel. He always puts out like a photo and be like, shout out to the creator.
Well, credit the people who made them.
Yeah, like I would think that, like, again, if I was in that position in Hollywood Power, I would do that, because that's free marketing, that's honorable, and that gives your street cred going. Like, all right, your history, and you're not just reading the basic stuff that most people who would go into Marvel. Oh yeah, the X-Men and the Jim Lee and Chris Claremont best-selling book of all time. Like, no, beyond that,
Well, these
that.
people wouldn't be doing what they're doing if not for the people who made them. So,
Yeah.
Well, I also want to point out he is pretty much, and this will be the last bit, and then we'll move on from here. But I do want to show a tweet from him. He has aligned himself with all of the negative people here on YouTube. He's actually been a guest on some of their podcasts, gone on these shows where people hate black people, hate women, hate Latin people, hate fucking gay people, whatever. He's aligned himself with these people. And here goes the tweet that he made, where I'm like, do you even know who your fans are anymore, Beau? Do you even know who they are? So he says here, and guys, read carefully. I've actually said I like Marvel's trailer rollout plan. I don't. And that a lot of the footage looks awesome and promising, especially the X-Men. Even though you just fucking spent a whole tweet trashing the fucking... Never mind. I've spoken about how much I love Fantastic Four and Agatha despite some quibbles. I've enjoyed Thunderbolts, even if it didn't necessarily make a big impact on me. At the same time, I do have some concerns about the process, and I feel bad for all the insanely talented actors, many women in POC, who were promised to be the new face of the MCU. This is why I can't totally dismiss Beau, because some of the things he says I do actually think, I think it should be discussed, right? Who were promised to be the new face of the MCU, from Blade to Sam to Yelena to Shang-Chi to Moon Knight to Kate Bishop, and who were not given proper attention and received movies and TV shows that elevated them the way the OG actors were. Absolutely. This is something Marvel itself admitted to this past June when they spoke about doing too much too quickly, so I do feel bad for those actors giving their all to those roles to be sidelined because the studio rushed and struggled to support and execute their solo movies in a way that resonated. This happened after that tweet, and this is a cover-up for everything that he said. Because there's nothing wrong with any of this, but bro, that's not what you were talking about in your first tweet. You were talking specifically about X-Men 97 and them not sucking your dick. That's what you were talking about. So this is just PR at this point. The thing is, I don't disagree. I think that there were a lot of actors and people involved that are going to get completely tossed out when the new phases start for the X-Men and stuff. That's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. And it does suck. But that's not the argument that he was having. It's crazy to me. It's just crazy. I don't even know with Beau DeMayo. We'll have to wait and see.
Again, we haven't even fully gotten the full resolution of why he was fully dismissed and whatnot. Like, we still haven't, after all these years, we still haven't gotten a full definitive, okay, this is what happened. People have to deal with it for better, for worse, and whatnot. And it's like,
Yeah.
right.
again, I'm still giving credit for show running the show, but like beyond that, I'm patiently waiting for this thing to be out eventually for me to talk about it fully. And again, I'm saving so much energy. Just like, I want to recommend
people are
this book
excited.
and
They're
this book,
excited
and
for
like,
it.
And again, like,
Paigey says food court. What's up, Paigey? By the way, if everybody who's here did not know, this upcoming Saturday at 5:00 New York time, the after party will be returning for a special episode with Paigey. So make sure you stop in on Saturday. And if we get enough support, we may discuss doing future episodes. So make sure you stop in at 5:00 on Saturday to chat with us about anything and everything. And I'll probably get demonetized. It's what always happens with Paigey, but it is what it is. Cameron with a $5 super chat. By the way, guys, we're 3 out of 10. We are at an hour and 15 minutes, and we're only 3 out of 10 super chats of any level to get one of the options in the poll. So if you are ever looking to super chat to go towards that goal, $1 works. It's a very low amount. So and we have to do this now because I will get demonetized on Saturday. I'm pretty sure. So have I seen the first absolute look of Poison Ivy? I actually bookmarked it. Let me look at my bookmarks here.
Oh yeah.
Some people were saying they didn't like it. Have you seen people saying they didn't like the way this looked?
No, I was fine with it.
What are we thinking, fellas?
not bad.
Ronan's head nod up there.
I'm looking respectfully.
Here we go.
I mean, the feathers on the arms are a little much, but I still like the design.
It almost looks like a priestess look. You know what I mean? Like
it almost kind of reminds me of. There's a little bit of a poll here. Craven's girlfriend from Marvel Comics, Calypso, kind of reminds me of the way she looks. If anybody knows that character.
The character from Let There Be Carnage?
No, that's Shriek.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
it was Calypso.
Yeah, I think they gave her the signature hair and everything. She's got the red hair and she's doing the sex appeal thing, which I think a lot of people were wondering how they were going to portray her in the Absolute universe. I like the design. I see a lot of people saying it looks like AI to them. I don't think that's true. But I like it. Definitely like it. Could have been worse. The neck looks bad. Yeah, the feathers around the neck are weird. I agree.
Yeah.
Reed says I'm getting
Feathers-
Mystique vibes. Noah says like a shaman. Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
which is where the whole Calypso tie was in.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it's a good design. Anthony says nice design. Don't like the feathers, but I like it. Yeah, the feathers are a weird choice, right? I feel like that might be a
Yeah,
weird
that's
choice.
my only thing where I'm like, I don't know.
All right, so this is a non-super chat, but I did star it from earlier, and it's from Extra Hero. It says, Eric is an expert on grifters. What is Nicki Minaj doing? It's clear it's not authentic because it's literally different. Yeah. So all Nicki Minaj is doing... Okay, so let me give context for this because people may not have heard about this. Some people don't give a fuck about Nicki Minaj, which I totally support. If you don't want to give a fuck about her. I'm not a barb myself, so it is what it is. But Nicki Minaj, who has been a huge portion of or an artist in the gay community in the sense that she's obviously not a gay woman, but she's very uplifted by the gay community, has basically joined Erica Kirk at the Turning Point USA event from last week and went on there saying stuff like boys should be boys and stuff like that. So I'm going to just be brutally honest with this. It's about money and pardoning. Like she's without getting in trouble with YouTube, she's got people in her life that need pardons at a federal level. She knows they need pardons. There's not a lot she can do about it. She apparently has got some issue with money going on behind the scenes with some other like lawsuits and things that are happening. And her last album, I don't think did very great. There's money. I talk about this before. Grifters and scammers do it. They go where the money is. There is money in right-wing grifting. That's it. That's what it is. Like she's going to make as much money as she can off of the right-wing grifters and then hope and keep her fingers crossed that when all of this blows over, she could just come like crawling back to all the communities that used to be fans of hers. That's it. That's the way that works.
People's morals have dollar amounts.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So with that being said, I was wondering, do you know, is Darren not showing up tonight? I wasn't sure if he was coming out or not.
I messaged him. He hasn't responded yet.
Okay.
He's active on Discord right now, so...
All right. I was kind of waiting around for the Stranger Things thing because I know we talked about discussing it tonight. And I know you're not watching it, right? You're not watching Stranger Things at the moment?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure if anybody else was watching
Who
it.
told you that?
So no, I just wanted to make sure that I knew everybody that was going to be here, and I thought Darren wanted to talk about these episodes. So
I was on his show last night when he talked about him.
All right. So here's a new thing: Stranger Things finale expands theatrical releases with more locations added. So you might want to check your local listings to see if somewhere around you has added a Stranger Things finale viewing, in case you want to check that out. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Let's see what else we got here. Just make sure I have everything. Is anybody on the panel or anybody in the chat going to see Stranger Things in a theater?
Probably the day after. The day after, I'll probably go see it early in the morning or midday.
Okay.
I got work to do this week to make up because I was going to be cutting, but hopefully I can catch it in the theaters. Also varies because I'm going to react to it hopefully during New Year's Eve. And if it's good and I really dig it, then hell yeah, I want to see it in the theater. But if I'm like, it's okay, I'm like, I'm not missing much, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how this all wraps up.
All right.
My biggest thing, just like as a blanket statement, and I've said this last night, it doesn't feel like we're one episode away from the end.
Yeah. Salam says $5 super chat. Good Lord, please no Aiden Ross. No, we're not going to look at anything that I've already looked at earlier. I did a video earlier where I talked about the controversy. We're not going to look at any of those things. I do have an article we're going to read, but if you want to go see that, go watch the video from earlier today. All right, so right now it looks like Stranger Things is getting review bombed on various sites. Shocking. Stranger Things Season 5 gets review bombed amid Will's coming out scene. Now, this is
People
from...
are acting like the episode hit their dog or something.
Yes, it's a little ridiculous. The Hollywood Reporter... God, the one thing that it really sucks for me right now is these articles, and I pre-read this one a little bit before we went live just to make sure it had what I wanted in it. When you have places like Hollywood Reporter reposting stuff that people say on Twitter, it's really frustrating. Because I thought these outlets had a little bit higher barrier to entry, but they don't seem to. They're just quoting people from Twitter, saying awful things. Anyway, it says here, some fans are turning on the Netflix hit as the show's series finale approaches. The Rotten Tomatoes score for the final season of Stranger Things has turned upside down. The show's score has plummeted in the wake of the release of the second batch of episodes from season 5, falling to a series low 57%. I wonder why. The show has also received plenty of backblow on social media since the Volume 2 episodes were released on Christmas Day. The reasons are a bit complex. I don't think they're very complex. I think I can explain it to you very simply, but let's see what they say.
Simple.
The show already received some pushback during the release of Volume 1 last month with an audience score that was reportedly in the 70s, below prior seasons, which averaged 86% or higher. Some fans gripe that the writing of the new season hasn't been as strong, with characters voicing too much overlapping exposition and bickering amid thick layers of special effects. Now, yes, for the first 4 episodes, I do remember there were conversations about why people did not particularly like the first 4 episodes, but those conversations were actually pretty thoughtful. The people were not happy with the way characters looked, how they aged up. That was one of the more superficial comments about it. The other one is that it does feel like some of the characters are not, they're dialing it in this season. And that's also fair. In the first 4 episodes, I feel like those are fair criticisms. However, it goes, some of the worst writing, and this is talking about the most recent episodes, some of the worst writing I've ever seen on a major TV show, one fan wrote on X. A fan. So just a rando on X wrote this. Every single scene in season 5 is exposition. Well, that's also hyperbole. There's a lot of exposition, but that's a hyperbolic statement. Complaints about how the show skyrocketed with last week's release of Volume 2, with one moment in particular becoming a flashpoint. In the show's penultimate episode, The Bridge, Will Byers came out to his friends in a lengthy monologue. The moment came as the Hawkins kids prepare to face the villainous demon Vecna. The Bridge is now the show's lowest rated episode on IMDb. Okay, let's think about this for a second. That episode was no better or worse than any other episode that they've had in this season so far.
So I don't have an issue with the scene. Like it's itself, people are really harping on that scene. The quote unquote issue that I have is really not even just exclusive to that scene, but with a lot of scenes, in particular this season, where like the individual character moments themselves, I think, really work in a vacuum. Whether it's Will's coming out scene, or the long talk between Nancy and Jonathan, or the stuff between Holly and Max, all of that stuff works in a vacuum.
There's more than that too. You're forgetting some of the other characters that have these long conversations.
I know.
Yeah.
I just listed off a few as examples. My issue is where they are placed in the episodes, and that especially with The Bridge, we are presented as like, hey, November 6th, this is the day it's all going to go down. This is it. But they're telling you there's stakes, but you're not feeling any of those stakes. You're not feeling like it's ramping up to something.
Right.
And they're saying, hey, we need to go do this now, but no, let's pause and do this scene where we're talking through our feelings, or with the Nancy Jonathan bit, where they're, rushing to get above the table, having a 10-minute scene. And if I may, they had a pretty stupid resolution to that, where
But nobody's complaining about that scene, though,
the thing hardened just, because the thing hardened right before it reached people. And my thing is, I don't have an issue with the whale scene in particular, just the way it's structured. But it's not even exclusive to that scene. It's
I understand, but that's why it narrows it down to what this is actually about. Because I don't see anybody complaining about those other scenes. There's plenty of scenes in these last 3 episodes that feel like they're out of place where they are in that moment. You know what I mean? Like the arguments about whether or not a certain person is lying to someone else in the midst of like some massive, fucking issue that you're having. But I also want to point out, this is TV. They have to find somewhere to put these conversations at in the middle of action. And I'm not saying they're making the best choices, but I'm also saying I have not seen anyone complain about any monologues or conversations other than the Will one. And the Will moment is actually the one that makes the most sense where it's placed, because there's a moment for everybody to sit there and take a breath. He has a chance to talk directly to everyone all at one moment. It makes the most sense where it's placed compared to all of the other scenes, but everyone has a problem with Will's scene. Now, I know, Ronan, you wanted to say something. Did you want to chime in?
I'll say this. I love Max and Holly's scene right before Max goes through the gate, but I in rewatching it, and even after we had seen it, I was like, wait a minute, the door is right there. Why are we stopping for 7 minutes to say a Rocky Balboa speech,
right,
and all this stuff? That one I also had an issue. I'm just like, and again, I'm not a person of the LGBTQ plus community, so I can never fully fathom or know how much what that goes through it. I think the valid is editing and pacing for that scene and for the Max and Holly scene as well, because, and again, I think it also goes to structure wise that like volume 2 feels like it should have been volume 1, and volume 1 should have felt like it should have been volume 2, because by the time volume 1 ends, you're like, let's fucking go to battle.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is these criticisms that we're having aren't enough to go over to IMDb and review bomb the show.
Oh no, that is
so we're gonna
ridiculous.
So I'm gonna pull it back to what the actual reason is. Like
that's
like
ridiculous.
Holly and Max having a long conversation before they exit the upside down mind world of Vecna isn't enough for somebody to go over and give a 1 out of 10 on the show. No. What would be the most logical reason somebody would go over and give it a 1 out of 10? It would be the Will speech about coming out.
That's ridiculous. And again, I saw that rating. I'm like, wait a minute, that's for episode 7. I wouldn't go that low for that episode, but I would go lower for, in my opinion, my least favorite episode of the volume is the episode fucking, was it 5? Yeah, 5. The first one of this volume. That feels like a setup episode is for me. And again, that's just me being, past
the problem. But I want to pull this back in. Like, the problem for me is I would love to have those conversations, but then this kind of shit happens. It's like, I can't even have a conversation about what's really wrong with the episodes without having to address this thing, because this is one of the things that isn't wrong. Like, you could argue that everybody's individual moments might have been poorly placed in the episodes, but the emotional reveal here for Will is absolutely important to the finale of the series.
Yeah, I could feel like the weight of not just this season, but of since the first episode of potentially the first episode of the show.
Yeah,
I could feel the weight on top of Will, and as he's going on with the monologue, that slowly was coming off and like getting off him, and it wasn't until the big hug that happened.
Well,
and it sucks because I know how much that scene means to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be throwing rocks like this. When I say we, I mean people on the internet who have now ranked this episode that low, because it is not that bad of an episode, and it's a highlight of a moment for the show. But again, there's more. There has to be more. And again, like you said, I would expect more from these big outlets.
Well,
there has to be a better way to have this conversation.
Well, here's the thing. Let's just go here. It says The backlash is partly exactly what you expect. The Stranger Things went woke. Elon Musk, for example, waded in. It's completely unnecessary and forced on an audience that just wants to enjoy some basic science fiction. So why is it that every other character, Holly, Max, Jonathan, everybody else in the show can have heartfelt conversations about their feelings and their emotions, but when you have one character who has a coming out moment in these 3 episodes, and that is the one that people have an issue with.
Yeah, like, again,
it's not unnecessary because it actually ties into the Vecna stuff. Vecna has been holding this over Will's head the whole time.
I know your secrets or whatever he says. Yeah,
he knows what Will's darkest secret was, and that is he's been hiding that he is gay from everybody. So what Will did is he had a moment where he's like, in order for me to be able to finish this off, I have to tell everybody what I consider to be my darkest secret, so Vecna can no longer use that to manipulate me. It was absolutely important to the story of the show. It was arguably more important than any of the other conversations that our characters had over the last 3 episodes. To be quite honest, if you're talking about in the context of the story of the show.
Okay, I'm gonna be truthful. I'm 75% with you.
Okay, so what other conversations in these 3 episodes specifically have the weight of what Will is revealing here in terms of Vecna to you? I'm just curious.
Without making this a measuring contest, I feel like Dustin pleading to Steve to not get himself killed, I think that also has the weight. Now, again, what Will has been going through is more than a few seasons, but Dustin and Steve's I don't even consider friendship. I consider brotherhood. Goes back to season 2. Which one I think is probably more important? I would lean in favoring that maybe Will is, but to me, just for me, and again, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for the whole internet and for us and for all that stuff. For me, the Dustin and Steve moment that was the one that I
want to point out this part here though. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah. Unnecessary and forced, right? The one thing that was necessary in the show to be done before the next 2 episodes was this moment with Will.
Lay the cards out. Yeah.
Right. So yes, we could have addressed the issue with those 2 characters later on at some point. That could have been done because it doesn't need to happen before the battle with Vecna. This was the one thing that does have to happen before the battle with Vecna. It is it's the opposite of unnecessary. It is the most necessary thing. And it says, what does a character coming out being gay have anything to do with a dislike of basic science fiction?
I would argue that science fiction has always been one of the cornerstones where you can throw any ideology or any that type of era taboo thing and bring it to the forefront and show in a way where we can deal with it in the best way possible.
Right.
I don't know how you could exclude that from science fiction. If you have that case, then I would always throw you the Star Trek scenario or
That's
the
true.
X-Men scenario.
Yeah.
I'm like, those are very science fiction-esque properties. And they have the balls and are not afraid to deal with anything. And one of the things is probably that of just someone coming out.
Well, it says here, much of the backlash isn't centered on Will being gay. Yes, it is. You just showed Elon Musk, one of the largest voices on social media, being homophobic. I would say that is pretty much the backlash, right? Is where things get nuanced. Will's sexuality has been apparent from the first season. Exactly. In episodes 1 and 3, they actually have a character that makes fun of it. Much of the backlash is about how the moment was handled. A show-stopping speech right in the show's action was escalating into its climactic crisis that felt cringy and jarring. No,
I don't think it's cringy or jarring.
I don't think so either. Let me just put this out there.
Yeah.
How many people out there, if you've had someone in your life that has unfortunately passed away or some big moment in your life where something is about to happen, you want to say things because you don't know what's going to happen when you walk out that door.
Yeah.
Will wanted to say these things just like every other character had their emotional moment before they walked out there to face in a moment where they don't know if they're going to come back. So it made the most sense for him to feel emotionally compelled to info dump all of that in that moment because of the stakes that were coming up. That's what we're dealing with. The fact that people think it's cringy and jarring tells me that the people who are watching this are not media literate people. They're just not. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would he wait at any point to tell something so important when he had everybody waiting in the room with him? It doesn't make any. This is the first time in how many seasons where every character has been in the same room together. It's been a moment.
Yeah, because
we've had all these characters together.
It was a beautiful scene, but I'll admit that like during the finale, I would like, before we go into action, all this stuff, I would like that Will and Mike have a moment. Again, you don't even have to say much, just a look or like a hand on the shoulder, and like again, there's you could do so much with just the facial expression of just like, I'm sorry, I never told you this. Like it is you, and just to look from Mike being like, I know it is. And nobody can resist this and having been macho-ist and be like that, like and like that's and be like, all right, we're both in good hands. That more
X quotes here, Roden. Like the forcing of everyone into a room the forcing of everyone into a room to sit down and be quiet to listen to every awkward word that came out of Will's mouth when most already knew and didn't give a fuck because they're trying to save the world. It's not about them. It is about him. It is about him telling them about it. It is not about them knowing, you dumb fuck. This isn't about Will being gay. Nobody is offended by that. You don't need to pause the apocalypse to spell out character traits everyone already understands. It is about him, not everyone else. You don't need to sacrifice pacing they didn't. They were already sitting in the room together. He decided to info dump while they were there. Tension and logic to logic. So it would have been, when would the illogical time be for him to make that kind of statement? In individual conversations over the course of 3 episodes? No. To make a statement that adds nothing to the plot. It literally is a part of the plot. It's a very big part of the plot.
I'm willing to bet that if people right before a apocalyptic event occurred, people either are telling secrets, letting their emotions out, or letting feelings out. And
Jake, what scene did you talk about where a bunch of people just went through that, where they just laid out a bunch of secrets about each other in a very stressful moment? Just one moment before the Will thing happened.
Yeah, the whole Nancy Jonathan bit.
Exactly. That was that whole scene, was them revealing a bunch of stuff to each other.
Again, one of my favorite top 5 moments in the show is Robin and Steve in the toilet, and that's a moment that, like, again, has nothing to do with the big big structure thing and big story of that season. But I'm like, God damn it, right. I love Robin now. I have her back now, and I like.
Yeah, and like this moment too, like for people rating it this low, this episode had, I think, some of my favorite moments in the season so far. Like you have the Will scene I liked, the Nancy Jonathan scene on its own. Like I said, I liked it, but honestly, the I loved the Max and Lucas stuff in this episode. That was getting some real emotions out of it.
Here's another one. USA Today going out here and saying something so fucking dumb. Let me explain to you why this is dumb, and whoever wrote this should fucking retire. Something was off about the scene. For 5 seasons, Stranger has struggled with how to deal with Will. They haven't struggled. They knew exactly what they were doing with him the whole time. This has been a setup from the first season. Who started out as the show's most personality-less kidnap victim back in season 1. Surprise, surprise, that was the plot of season 1. And never developed much from there because he was a closeted gay kid. He was very quiet and introverted. They talk about this in the first season. It's a plot point of how he's a very introverted, quiet kid. They talk about this. While his coming out moment could have been triumphant and inspirational, it ends up being underwhelming and awkward. Do these people even know what coming out looks like for a lot of people? Do they even know? How is it not awkward? How is it not awkward to come out to someone? It's always going to be awkward because you don't know how that person is going to respond to it.
Yeah.
And there's no ideal situation to do that.
I want to point this out too. While they're over here saying shit like this and trying to pretend like it's not about Will being gay, we're seeing posts like this one on Twitter.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, I mean, it's just one of those things where I know better than a lot of these fucking idiots who are on here talking about stuff. Right? It's not about him being gay, but then, here we go. Will Byers, 1971 to 1996, died of AIDS. Wow. But it's not homophobia at all. In the least. It's crazy to me. I'm sorry. It's one of those things where there are issues, but this is why I have such an issue with the space about fandoms here on YouTube and on social media. Can we actually talk about what was wrong with these episodes without it being, oh, a gay kid came out, let's fucking
Yeah.
dogpile on that?
Yeah, to me that and again, when I told my friends, I'm like, to me it's just structure. That's where I'm more worried about going to. And again, I'm pumped yet worried at the same time, which means the show has my attention. But I'm just worried structure wise if it's gonna feel too bloated by the time we get to the finale, and how it either feel rushed or feel like there's a lot that wasn't covered. That's my big overall. But like, no, again, the kid coming out, that's not no. And again, I if I have the time and the space, I want to look and see how people from the LGBTQ plus community does feel about it. Like, was it done fully right? Like, is there better ways to do it, improve and whatnot? And I would like to think the different brothers went out of the way and like talk to people, be like, how do we do it or not? Because yes, it is a science fiction.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people
show.
are waiting till the whole show wraps up before they give their final thoughts on it, because we still don't know exactly.
I'm
how
kind of
it's
that
gonna
way
end.
as well.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah,
I did kind of get a little bit emotional seeing it play out, because damn it, I was just like,
I mean, that's my like thoughts on just like the entire season. Really, like there's a lot that I have like formed opinions on, but those opinions are kind of what's the word I want to use? They're not set in stone yet, and
Right.
how this final episode plays out is really going to cement my feelings.
So Cody here with a $5 super chat does bring up a good point. So Will isn't exactly being himself. There's inconsistencies in Will's memory. He's talking about a memory from the 50s that belongs to Henry, to Vecna himself. Well, we know that Vecna is obviously fucking with Will. I mean, we know that already.
I need to rewatch. I need to rewatch that episode, and yeah, Vecna's been messing with Will since the get go, and yeah, I gotta rewatch it. I'm still editing my reactions. Again, I like the episodes, but I have a different feeling of Volume 2. That's why I haven't been rushing out to put up the videos. And I'm like, you know what? Let me time it right. But
All right, so thank you guys for the super chats, and see what we got here. Yeah, so Solemn here says we should talk about how Variety and Hollywood Reporter have a chud problem where they're pandering to that crowd. Yeah, I'm getting annoyed with. I can't even read their articles without them like calling in Elon Musk quotes and stuff. How about you quote people that are happy about the episode? How about you give us a very good variety where you say this is what Elon said? Yeah. Like
if you are a newspaper, if you are an outlet, you balance it.
Yes,
Right.
like
You're not subjective. You show every side, not just
So-
the approver.
right. So in other words, if Elon said that, look up another prominent account on X that enjoyed the episode and enjoyed the representation, and then say, however, this person said this. That's how you do those kinds of articles. You don't just lean into all chud stuff, all the grifty stuff, and go, this is all we're going to show. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. All right, so let's see where we're at. Over at on the Debunks channel, we are 2 out of 5 super chats for the night, and on the Reloaded channel, we are 4 out of 10. Let's go over what the possible wins are for tonight. If you guys are thinking about donating, again, it is a super chat of any level. If we hit the goal, we're going to do a ranking stream of superhero films. I haven't decided the total criteria yet, but we're going to be ranking superhero films, and I will figure out the criteria. An essay video on the future of the DCU, where I'm going to have different guests. So I might ask Ronan to be there, Jake to be there, other people to be there. We'll do like an essay-style video where we talk about our thoughts and opinions on the DCU. A reaction of your choice. So if you guys pick that one, I will give a list of possible reactions to different videos, and then you guys will vote on that in the community tab. And the last one is a top 5 list, which is top 5 worst comic book movie villains. And that's for any comic book movie from any era,
Oh boy.
animated or live action. So those are our possible options
Dark Elf.
if we hit the goal tonight.
What?
Cameron here with a $5 super chat. Thank you. We're now 5 out of 10. DC has created a new villain in Matt Fraction's Batman run, who originally named Lady Deathman, but changed it to the what is that? The Ojo? Is that how it's spelled? What? All right, hold on. Let me look this up. Let's see. Is this... Hold on, let me see. Is this the character? Hold on. Is this the right one, Cameron? This is what I found when I looked that up. So I don't know if this is the right one or not. So this is a new Batman villain?
Interesting.
Is this character connected to any, like, previous Batman storylines? You know what I'm thinking about, Jake, right? Like, where they come from?
Yeah. No, I think the Matt Fraction angle is bringing in a lot of new characters.
So just an individual character that happens to look like she could come from any of the crime families that were previously connected to Batman,
I was thinking it, yeah.
Yeah, so Reed, that's what I was thinking too, yeah. So the character's new. So no connections. All right.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Color me intrigued. Definitely something I'd be interested in. So there was a new Supergirl teaser. Did you guys see this?
What?
No.
Hold on. Someone sent this to me.
A lot of these trailers have been getting more extra footage, but just they haven't been officially dropped on said companies' social medias, which is odd.
Yeah, let me see if I can find this message
Millie Alcock.
here.
I'm definitely not doing video work right now while we're talking.
I am definitely not cooking something that I might have to get back to. In a
So
bit.
this is a new teaser. I don't know what it's got in it. Chances are it will get claimed though, because I'm pretty sure the song is the same.
Oh,
So if you're not here watching it live, you'll have to listen to us talk about it after it's done.
Oh,
Blondie, we love you. Please don't claim this
is
video.
it that Blondie song again?
Yeah,
I
love
don't
that song.
I don't know, but I'm assuming yes, because I think it's probably
I-
just a teaser, but we'll
I
see.
love that song.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's
different
Superman
song.
like? Is he like you?
He sees the good in everyone. And I see the truth.
All right, that wasn't much. Was there any new footage in this?
No, my memory's pretty good. Like everything's the exact same.
What was
thing.
the new line? Somebody said there was a new line. What was the new line?
So I'm pretty sure Ruthie did mention or asked about Superman in the
Yes.
official teaser.
Yes.
So if that's what they're thinking at. Maybe it's highlighted more now than ever. But like all of this seems like what I saw a little while back.
Yeah.
Same.
I'm still super excited for this movie.
Yeah. And Ronan, I'm so glad you finished the book now.
Yeah,
so glad
dude.
you
Like
finished the book.
I am. If money starts.
Yeah, the ship crashing might have been new. Sorry, that might be one of the new.
Okay.
New scenes.
But yeah, I would love to get my hands on some original pages from that book. I love Bill Fuseli's art. It's so fucking good.
Good stuff.
All right. So James Cameron will hold a press conference if he decides to end Avatar franchise early. Do you guys see this? We're not going to read the whole article, but essentially he said if they don't do a four or five, he's going to like do a press conference and explain every story element that he's going to do.
Dude, I see like LeBron James' decision. Are you staying with the Avatars or are you leaving the Avatars?
Are you? What about my generous proposal? Are you in or are you out?
It makes me wonder though, why not just do an animated thing or a comic book or something to finish it off if you decide you don't want to do a movie? You know what I mean? Like you could do
If he
an
believes in this
animated one.
franchise, do crossover media. God
Yeah.
damn it. Like I would lean in on that so effing much. I don't know.
I think didn't he say in a recent interview that he doesn't want to continue to work on these because they take so long to make and he wants to do other things? Didn't he say that?
I think he said that like if it doesn't if this one doesn't do a lot of money the way they him and both the studio hope it does, that he probably will put it into it and like say goodbye to it and whatnot. And I think he said he never wanted to like pass the torch to someone. I could be wrong. I know he does want to do that Hiroshima and Nagasaki bomb story, and he said I guess he wants to do that for what Spielberg did for the Holocaust and World War II in Saving Private Ryan, which I'm like, cool. I'm intrigued. I haven't read the book on that what that movie potential movie is based on. I think the movie podcast. I forget the name of the show podcast, but they asked him about it. He's like, yeah, once the script is done, that might be my next project. And it's like, I don't mind if he takes a break from it. Like, I don't mind breaks between.
Here it says the weekend actuals came in lower for Avatar, but still powerful hold at the U.S. box office. 63.1 million on its second 3-day weekend for December. Just a 29.3% drop from its opening weekend. That's crazy. That's guys in the chat. If you're not aware, an average movie will drop somewhere around 60 to 70% from weekend to weekend. So 29.3 is incredible. This is incredible. Yeah, look, 52.8% from Way of the Water.
Okay.
So that's good. It says here, 300 million mark should come by Saturday already. That will make Fire and Ice just the 7th 2025 movie to achieve that mark. So the 300 million domestic, this is only the 7th movie this year to do that. Yeah. Or Fire and Ash, yeah.
No. I'm just kidding.
So it's I had a 420 to 470 million run in the U.S. domestic box office. I don't know what that means internationally, like what it's going to do. I think it's going to clear $1 billion by next weekend, though, for sure. It's already pretty up there in terms of numbers. I think it was close to 800 million, so I think it'll clear $1 billion by next weekend. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this ends just shy of $2 billion. What do you think? Or do you think it's going to crack $2 billion? What do you think? Because it's got another 3 to 4 weeks in theaters before we see it head out.
Potentially, I think so. If internationally it stays open more longer, then it might cross the 2 billion mark. But I know how I don't know, but like I've seen how stuff in the U.S. pans out. It's like either you make your money now or never. And yeah, how much did Avatar make? It did cross 2 billion, right?
Yeah.
The Way of Water.
Yes. Yeah.
So
let me double check. I'll get the exact number.
Okay, it was like at the very least it should meet Way of Water's box office.
Way of Water was 2.3.
Damn.
But keep in mind that the bulk of that was international. It's like 1.7 international.
So yeah, so everybody else in the world is gonna have to like push in the rest of the cash in to come in and meet or match Way of Water's run.
Yeah. So Harrison says 1.8. I'm thinking that's kind of where we're going to land. But look, 1.8 in the economy right now is actually really good.
Yeah. And again, as far as I know, is anything big coming out on January? Big movie? Because if not, that might be like, oh, let's go watch Avatar after the hype of the first month.
I mean, I got something I'm already watching in January. That's when Send Help's coming out at the end of the month.
Let's see.
Oh, Raimi, right?
Yeah.
I think we say Wonder Man.
I mean, I'll watch that too.
Same.
Yeah.
The Plague, Bury the Dead, Follow My Voice, The Dutchman.
Yeah, out of all those, the only one I'm interested, and I'm slightly interested.
Kid Bop's Alive comes out.
Okay, the only one I think I'm interested in is the All You Need Is One Kill. It's an anime movie, and the Daisy Ridley zombie movie.
I might go check out The Dutchman in January. Definitely going to see Send Help. I don't know. Yeah, my January is going to be kind of tame.
As of January, the first big thing that comes out is on the 16th, which is 28 years later. That comes out on January 16th. Still scrolling here. That's it. The end of January, there's nothing really. It's all horror movies, really, like small indie films and horror
Yeah.
movies. So there's not a lot. If people are going to go to movies or anything like that, they're probably
It
going
might
to go to
it
see
might kick in at the
Avatar.
last minute. It might kick in a lot more money at the last minute. Like again. But then again, you take in Way of Water, decade wait, over decade wait. This one, a year wait, and then
And I've been, of course, I've been on the train of trying to sell more people on send up because of that trailer, and they keep saying what is the whole premise? And I said, think Castaway mixed with the movie Misery, and that's pretty much what you're getting.
yeah, from that trailer, I can see that.
Yeah.
And it has Rachel McAdams.
Yep. I love all the comments in that trailer. People saying, "Man, Multiverse of Madness must have fucked her up." It was great.
Oh, here we go. This is funny. So Zack Snyder
Hallelujah.
posted pictures of Henry Cavill in
Yes,
the.
it does,
I
Chris.
did see that. I did see
I
that.
did see this. And you know what a bunch of idiots online did?
What is that?
We're getting it back. We're getting
course.
back, boys.
Shit down there.
Henry Cavill, the original Superman suit. This photo, it was undeniable. Just give
I
it
want
up.
to see more photos from Watchmen and Sucker Punch and 300, please.
And Army of the Dead.
I'm so tired of the Snyder shit, man. I'm
I
so
saw
tired of
Roman
it.
hey, I like that movie.
I like Army of the Thieves more.
I like that one too.
You know what I want to see? I want to see more.
Hell,
Like-
give me more concept art from Twilight of the Gods.
You read my mind.
Like mines.
I can't wait. I really, and again, shout out to all my friends who are very much hardcore Zack Snyder fans. But I hope one day I get the chance to meet them and be like, "Hey, man, it's an honor and pleasure to meet you." All right, then have him I want to have that look on his face, be like, he thinks I'm going to ask him about the Snyder Cut. I'm like, no, fuck that. Let's talk about Twilight of the Gods and samurais and this stuff. Let's talk about
So
that.
the one massive loss for me in the Netflix thing was Twilight of the Gods.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck about Rebel Moon, really. I don't care about any of the other Snyderverse stuff. I wanted another season of Twilight of the Gods.
was
One of the best
awesome.
cartoons of that year. Such a great cartoon.
I want a Blu-ray for
Um,
season 1. That's what I want.
Yeah, I would love
I'm
that
gonna have to
too.
pirate it, sadly,
Yeah.
but
I
yeah.
really wish it would have got another season.
Fuck, it was leading up so good to some other good cool stuff.
How do you think Henry Cavill feels about this constant rehashing from Zack Snyder about him as Superman? How do you think he feels about it? Like, honestly.
Um,
Because I think he wants to get away from it. Honestly, I think he's trying to move on from all this. I get that
don't-
impression anyway.
I don't think he minds Zach doing it. I would think someone if I was in his shoes, I would mind that if that's all people ask me in junkets every time I put out a show, a movie or a show. Which again, another one that I'm hoping if I ever meet him, like, okay, man, let's talk about Warhammer. Let's talk about video games, dude. Like fuck that. Like, nah.
Yeah.
Talk to me, dude. Like, imagine we're at a GameStop and there's a Starbucks next to it. Let's just go get coffee and just geek out for shit, man. Like,
Yeah.
you got 5 minutes away
tell
to
me
get
about
rid of
The
all that
Witcher or
stuff.
something.
Yeah, let's talk about what's that movie he's making with Amazon? Oh my gosh, Voltron. Let's talk about Voltron, man. Like, break it down for me. And I don't know. Again, I see this as a marketing ploy for his movie. The Last Photograph?
Yeah.
That's how I
I
see
see
it.
that.
Now, having said that, am I liking all his photos and seeing all of them? No. Again, like I said, when I saw Watchmen, I was like, ooh, okay. Let's talk about this one because I do feel people should watch the Watchmen movie.
Yeah. Because it was something different than what the casuals normally see from him. And if you see these filmmakers that, like show bits of their work that are not just all of what's in the norm, then I feel like that's fine. Like, that's just a bunch of reminiscence. But constantly putting Superman pics out there, even if you're just doing it with the intents of reminiscence, could spin people's minds the wrong way.
Watchmen movie or TV show? Which one is better in your opinion?
Don't do that to me, Eric.
Damn it.
I'm greedy. I'm gonna say both. I think
Okay.
equally both have something like to do. Like again, man. Like
Chat, Watchmen TV show or Watchmen movie? I want the chat to pick now.
I could see in a world that the TV show like beats out the movie by a little bit just because it's a direct follow up to the book. But I do also see it swing on the other way and be like, yo, doesn't get better than Jackie Earle Haley as Rorschach or Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the comedian or Patrick Wilson as Dan Dryberg. Like again, I and it's weird because of both the show and the movie, I hear the voices when I reread the book. Like in some parts, I do hear oh my gosh, who plays oh my gosh, Silk Spectre 2. Oh my gosh, Malin Ackerman. Yes, here we go. I see her voice, and then I also hear oh my gosh, Heather's. Fuck. Fucking imbecile. Anyways, I feel the actress who plays Laurie in the show's voice as well when I'm reading the books. I'll give this the
You talking about Jane Smart?
Yes, Jane Smart. Yeah. I had a hell of a fun time with the water cooler talk with the show. Like, I don't know if I ever told you guys this story, but I remember I was working one day at my work, and it was around the time that either the show was out or had just finished coming out, and I saw a gentleman, an African American, wearing a Tulsa a hat that said Tulsa on top of it, and I was like, I know there's no good or right way to just ask him, but I was like, excuse me, sir, can I ask you a question? And I asked him about like the history and whatnot, and like bless his heart, he took the time and like told me a little bit. If I asked him, did you know, like, how do you feel about all this knowing? And he took the minute of his time or two to like talk to me about it. And I told him, like, I'm sorry, I didn't know about it. Like, I wish I would have been taught that in school. He's like, oh, man, don't forget it. My history's been like this for the longest time. I'm glad that people now know about it more. I was like, I appreciate it, man. And he's like, and I guess he hadn't seen it, but he's like, where'd you hear this from? I'm like, oh, this show called Watchmen on HBO. He's like, okay, I'll give it a look. Like, all right, take care. Have a good day. I love both. I love both equally.
Yeah, and to your point about like hearing the characters in comics whenever you're reading, pretty much any point, if I were to read it now, if Ozymandias talks, I hear Jeremy Irons. That's just how it works, because of his contributions in the show. But yeah, I'm just gonna say both because it's hard to pick. I really like both for their own reasons.
And the movie's soundtrack is so damn good. Like
James here says most black folks know about Greenwood, but yes, it's just DEI according to Chuds. Yeah. Yep. And you're right. It is American history.
Yeah.
It is. So that's crazy. All right. So let's talk about this here. Whoops. The article is scrolled down too far. 2026 U.S. box office to hit $9 billion. How long can theatrical biz remain intact before Netflix Warner Brothers crushes the window? That was an interesting article. So what is that?
I wish I had $1 billion. If I had $1 billion, I would start working out right now. I'd be part of this. I'll be in this show and working out at the same time. But like, boys, I'm doing a double shift.
Same.
By the way, guys, we're 5 out of 10 super chats. It's any tier. We're going to be wrapping up here shortly. So if you would like to contribute, it is any level on the Reloaded channel to get us to that goal. Guys, they're shadow banning the channel. YouTube is trying to silence the voices. Just kidding.
God damn it.
There's a mega when we need him.
I know. Anyway, if you guys want to contribute to the goal, please do so before we wrap up. All right. The domestic box office is forecasting again to hit $9 billion in 2026. Wait, we said this about last year, but what happened? Well, 2025 expected to fall between $8.8 billion and $8.9 billion. Essentially, it's a difference of one tentpole not working. So take your pick. Paramount's Running Man, Disney's Tron Ares, and or Elio. Interesting. Running Man was a weird disappointment. I thought that was going to do much, much better, to be honest, especially with everybody attached to it. That miss aside, the domestic box office post-COVID has a good thing going with its third $8.5 billion plus year in a row. How long can the entertainment industry keep theatrical moviegoers alive in the face of potential gloom and doom from Netflix's anticipated swallow-up of Warner Brothers? The pandemic and the 2023 strikes dashed all hope of box office rebuilding to a 10 to 11 billion annual business. Give thanks to what we have, the second best year in box office post-COVID after 2023's record 9 billion. All right. Let's see. Some studio execs counted the approximate 12-month regulatory period for Netflix to wed Warner's believe that the theatrical business has 3 years left of great justice or great juice before ticket sales head for a downturn. That is, if Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos collapses the executive theatrical window to 17 days. Okay, that's the thing. Let's stop right there and talk. Do we believe that they're going to collapse the theatrical window? Do we think that Netflix is doing this in good faith and they're going to keep Warner Brothers division as a movie theater experience? Or do we think they're just going to completely go back on their word and turn these Warner Brothers movies into Netflix cash cows? What do we think? Are we leaning towards truth or lies on this one?
This one's tricky.
Yeah, I'm torn.
I'm torn just because if they're really trying to tear down the whole theatrical experience, why do you keep throwing buckets of money to all these big directors and writers to come and play ball with them? Like that would be like cheating on a relationship that you just started. And like why would you start doing that in a big bad way? Like if you're gonna be a swinger, be a swinger all the way. Don't start pulling people's strings and whatnot. Like I'm excited to do. Again, what I've been saying is that like I don't want these mergers to go, but like I would hope they would see there's money to be left on the floor if they keep the theaters open. And not only that, make the theatrical experience open and engaging, and hell, you might even get more money with physical media. I still have. We were talking about streaming things, right? I still have my first 2 seasons on Blu-ray/VHS box.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I've been such a big stickler for that stuff for years because, like I said, like in the event that your streaming service, your Netflix or HBO, whatever it is, in the event that stuff just craps out, goes kaput, nobody can take a disc and a working player from you.
So Chris here says that said Netflix is still better than fucking Paramount at this point. It is on the sense of like news and reporting and stuff like that. I don't think either one of them are necessarily the best for theatrical releases because Paramount just pulled Avatar from their fucking The Last Airbender or Aang, the Aang movie. They pulled that onto streaming from theatrical release, which proves that they don't really care too much about that either when it's all said and done. But yeah, you're right. When it comes to news stuff, they're definitely the better of the two. That's the worst case scenario. It's not a calculated forecast by Ernst & Young. And true, when it comes to David Ellison's bid for Warner Brothers, it ain't over till it's over. The Paramount CEO unwilling to go quietly into that night, which, by the way, it still looks like Paramount's not going to get Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers combo with the Melrose Ave lot is a whole lot of set of Gita, but still there's a small sense of ease with Ellison as he's known to be a champion for theatrical, even though he's even made the lofty promise to keep 2 major studio slates afloat 30 movies a year. That's impossible, guys. I need you guys to understand this. One company that owns a lot of IPs cannot afford to put out 30 movies a year. They would be operating at a loss, no matter how you look at it.
That's physically impossible.
Yeah. Because not only would they be going up against Disney directly with some of these releases, they would be going up against themselves with a lot of these releases. So that's a lie. And I think the investors know that. This is a public plea, but it's not an investor plea. They can't do that. They can't do 30 movies a year. That's one of the reasons why I have an issue with Disney owning who they own, because they can't release a certain amount of movies a year because it would overlap with each other. So that's a big problem. The bigger paranoia for the future of moviegoers lies with the Netflix Warner Brothers dystopian future, particularly since the latter has accepted the former's bid officially. So yes, they have. However, at this point in time, there's a mixed bag of theories in regards to Netflix's long-term impact on theatrical. It says here that Sarandos is exclaimed he's pro-theatrical, and that he'll respect the terms of Warner Brothers' theatrical commitments for the slate he inherits. So that's 2027, 2028 onward. So anything that has already been greenlit or has already been, the contract's already signed and stuff, he says he's committed to that. We don't know what that means after that period, though. We're not sure.
Wow.
That's crazy. But this is why, the reason why I wanted to read this, and we're going to move on after this, but the reason why I wanted to read this is because of this stat here. Right now, Disney has 25% of the 2025 annual admissions. Warner Brothers has 21. The next closest to that in Universal is 18.5, and then everybody else is irrelevant. Everyone else is an irrelevant number. You can combine all of those numbers and you still would barely get to where Disney and Warner Brothers is. If Warner Brothers goes away from theatrical releases, everybody, listen to me, all the Disney haters out there, if this happens, Disney will be the undisputed king of the movie theaters. There will be no one that can compete with Disney at all. And every major movie you get will most likely come through Disney.
The mouse is about to get fat from all that cheese.
Think about this. If they pull Warner Brothers out of theaters, that's so funny, Jake. If they pull Warner Brothers out of theaters, Disney will have no competition. That's it. Game over. Disney owns theaters at that point. And keep in mind, Paramount, the company that wants Warner Brothers, only commands 6.4% of the annual admissions, which means they don't know what they're doing. So these would be the people that would be in charge of Warner Brothers, the ones that can't even get close to Universal. They would have to go double and a half to get to Universal.
Chaos.
I don't. What are we doing? What's like? This is so crazy to me. I just want the madness to be over. I want Warner Brothers to stay separate. I know that's not really an option anymore, but I want them to stay separate. I don't want them to be connected to either one of these companies. And the fact we're heading into 2026 and a legacy studio like Warner Brothers ends up in this position is due to the Zaslav shit with Discovery. That's why we are where we are right now. Prior to that, no one would have thought that Warner Brothers would ever be up for sale.
No.
When they come out of that Discovery machine, we end up in this situation.
And after one of their first good years in a while, I wouldn't have sold right now. After one of their first good years in a while, yeah, I wouldn't have done that.
Oh my God.
Well, but what do I know?
Yeah. All right. So we got a 99-cent super chat from Harrison James contributing to the goal. Thank you so much, everyone. We are now 7 out of 10. 3 more, and we have about maybe 30 minutes left before I wrap the stream up. So we need 3 more super chats of any tier within the next 30 minutes to hit the goal in the Reloaded channel. I don't know if we're going to hit it in the Debunks channel. We're only 2 out of 5. But if anybody wants to contribute over there, you can. I will put the poll up over there if we hit the goal. All right. We got
boys. I gotta head out. I gotta get back to cooking and some stuff in the kitchen. That's a lot.
Okay, see you later, Ronan. Have a
Again,
good night.
muchachos. Happy New Year's.
Yeah, same to you. Cameron here with the $5 super chat. Did you see the milestone characters are possibly coming back to DC mainstream continuity because there's new history of the DC universe a month ago? I didn't know that. Wasn't there some issue? Like, okay, Jake, tell me about this because I haven't heard about this.
So I heard murmurs about it, but I'm gonna see if I can find the thing that quoted it because it says it better than I can.
I was under the impression there was an issue with it because of rights. That's what I heard, but
I think that is correct. I saved the article somewhere. Hold on. Okay, is this it? Damn it. I hate search engines. I think it is a rights issue, yes.
yeah.
Find it.
See you later, Phantom King. Have a good night.
I can't find it at the moment.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Do.
I'm looking.
All right, let's see. So the Milestone Universe, Dakotaverse, and its characters Static, Icon, Rocket, Hardware, Blood Syndicate, etc., have been canonized within DC's current continuity, meaning they are officially part of DC's multiverse history. This is a big deal because a long-time Milestone existed somewhere parallel to DC, mainstream DC continuity, and various DC reboots made the status unclear. This is
And I got a thing here too. It says, bringing those people into the main continuity, which is Earth O at the moment. Earth 93/Dakotaverse, highlighted by their inclusion in the Beast World event and new series merging in from New Worlds for fresh stories, with black creators leading the charge, like showcased in Titans Beast World Waller Rising.
okay. I actually think that's really cool because they've been kind of tossed around a little bit. So to have them like solidified in continuity is really good.
Yeah.
And Chris says, it sucks. I'm fairly sure that's what kept Static out of adaptations for a while now. Yeah, rights issues. But
Yeah.
I think we're getting beyond that now. I saw your comment, Jake, and we're going to do one more small thing and then wrap it up. So
okay.
if you got to go, you can go. But Harrison with the 99-cent super chat. Thank you so much. Again, heading towards that goal. We are now only 2 away from the goal. And then we're going to see what people pick.
There were attempts to bring Static into live action with, get this, Jaden Smith apparently being considered for the role.
Really? Oh, back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, back
I thought you meant again, like recently. I'm
No,
like, wait,
no,
what?
no. Yeah, actually, do I have it? I'm curious, just because we're talking about Static. I wonder if...
Did you see that Danny Ramirez's character in Last of Us Season 3 is being recast, apparently?
So I saw that initial article. I'm waiting for either Craig or Danny himself to confirm it. While we were just on the whole Static thing, before that died, I wanted to show this. I don't know if I had yet.
Yeah.
Throughout my whole collector set of Injustice cards here, I have the one single Static card that they made. I mean, obviously there were other copies of this card, but the only Static card to ever exist in that, I do have it in my possession here, and I just wanted to quickly show that if my deck of cards over here would cooperate with me, that'd be really nice. I say that as if talking to it's going to help. Here it is.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the one Static card.
That's the only one?
Yeah. Everybody else has got like other versions of them. That's the only Static card that exists. And when I say that as the only one exists, I mean I don't mean I'm the only one that has it, but out of all the cards you can get out of that thing, that's the one Static card. So that was pretty rare, actually.
Yeah. Let's see there. Oh, this is interesting here. For anybody that's wondering, Zoe Saldana is set to become the highest growing actor of all time after this Avatar movie.
I mean, not altogether shocking. You know, just put in a movie where Zoe Saldana plays a CGI alien creature, and your movie's going to make money.
That is pretty true, right? I feel like that's a true statement.
Yeah.
Where's this other article I had?
Yeah, I know, Chris. It was lucky that cards didn't fall out of my hands. There's no Wildcat card, though. Major problem. What are you looking at?
Who, me?
No, who else is here?
I was trying to find. There was one more thing I wanted to talk about, but it looks like it got deleted.
Oh, the Last of Us thing?
No. I was just wondering if you had read that or not. They were replacing his character.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything concrete from Danny himself or Craig, so I'm just kind of waiting at the moment.
Oh, here it is right here. This is the last thing. All right. So we talk about how comic books aren't doing well, right? That's one of the talks everybody has, that comic books are struggling. According to figures shared with The Hollywood Reporter, the Absolute Universe line of monthly comics has sold over 8.2 million units in total, not accounting for December sales. Absolute Batman, the flagship title, makes up around 35%, close to 3 million of that total. The first issue of Absolute Batman continues to sell well and is now in its 10th printing, while the latest issue, Absolute Batman number 15, has units. I can't read that part. Let me get down here. Has orders of over 300,000. This Absolute Universe for DC is one of the most successful things they've done in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's kind of crazy, honestly, that we went from struggling to sell comic books to having these amazing stories.
Oh, yeah. I think.
Oh, like, Chris, this is really good. Like, this is good.
Yeah,
like, this is really good. Yeah.
I think like the everybody has their favorites out of the Absolute line. I think the Absolute Batman and Flash books have been killing it.
Yeah. Bobby here says, I love reading Harley Quinn comic books stories. Yeah.
Yeah.
Salam says, when are they going to make a Absolute DC movie? I actually think they should, because this would be a good Elseworlds universe to create where they could do individual stories with these characters. But I don't know how much green lighting we're going to get of DC stuff until this deal is done, to be quite honest.
Well, I mean, you have the Nightfall movie coming next year, the first part of those movies, and there's going to be 4 of them. So, yeah, I'm curious to see how that plays out, because we've never really had a tried and true Nightfall adaptation. Yeah, Dark Knight Rises did bits of it, but...
Oh, Harrison with 3 super chats has put us over the goal. So thank you, Harrison. I do appreciate it. We hit our goal. So go vote if you're in the Reloaded chat, or if you're in the Debunks chat and you do want to vote. Head over to the Reloaded chat, vote on the poll for the one that you want, and we'll take a look at that here in a second. I'm just glad to see comic books succeeding, right? That's what I like.
Yeah.
So for me, this is really cool. Thank you, Harrison, and everybody who donated to hit the goal. We still have a couple of minutes left if anybody wants to hit the goal over in the Debunks chat. But we will be wrapping up here in about 10 minutes-ish. So if you guys wanted to donate over there, you can. If not, it's fine. I don't have a poll or anything set up. If we hit the goal, I will do one. But right now, there's no poll over there. Let's see here. What's your top... That's what, like, we take a while to do that. I will say my number one now and forever is Flashpoint Paradox. That's just my number one.
My number one is Mask of the Phantasm.
It's a good one, too. It's a really good one. We would probably do a list tonight, but as you can see, it's just myself and Jake and no one else. Yeah. But, you know, we'll see. Harrison with a little heart emoji. Thank you again, Harrison, for helping hit the goal. I do appreciate it. Bobby, that is an all-day aside. Yeah, I would have to sit down and really think about that to do a top 10
that's like
of
an
animated movies.
Thing there.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe we'll put something like that in the poll. Okay, so real quick, before we do this, remind everybody that on Saturday on the Reloaded channel, at 5 o'clock New York time. There's an after party special stream with myself and Paigey where he's going to address anything you guys want to ask him in the chat. So definitely make sure to be there. It's going to be around a 2-hour stream. So come in on Saturday at 5 o'clock to do that. And then if we get enough support, I will schedule more Saturday streams. We'll do more after parties. I'll have more of our guests here on Saturday. So make sure you come over to the Reloaded channel on Saturday, because I know Jake has been asking for a weekend stream as well. So I'd like to be able to do those. We need to see what the support looks like in 2026. On Thursday night, I'm telling Jake this, and I will drop it in the Discord server so everybody knows. We're going to do our top 5 movies of the year.
Okay.
So that will be the list we're going to be doing. And we'll be spinning the wheel, and we'll be doing it. And we're going to do it 5-1. 5-1, right? And so that way we work up to our favorite, essentially. So it is a ranked one.
Is that going to be the entire stream?
It will be the second hour of the stream.
Okay. For that second hour, I might be able to get in. The first, probably not. But if I do, I might be able to make it in that second.
Yeah, if you can. I'm just letting you know if you do make it. That's what we're going to be doing.
Okay, cool.
And I will tell everybody else who in the Discord server, if they want to join, they can do that. I will be doing mine, whether it's just me or anybody else. So the whole point is that's going to be my discussion on the second hour on Thursday. I'm going to leave the first hour open in case we get some big news, like a trailer drops or something like that.
Gotcha.
But we'll see.
Yeah. I imagine we'll probably get one by then.
Yeah. Harrison says, saw Marty Supreme. That definitely cracks my top 3 for the year. Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
You seen Anaconda yet?
No. Have you seen it? Whew. Is it good?
God, I love that movie.
Okay, I'll definitely have to check it out.
Love that movie.
All right, see you later, Xana. Have a good night. Staggervorce says New Year's stream. Yeah, it'll be New Year's Day, though. Best or worst? I mean, we could do both. I'll see if anybody in the chat wants to do best or worst.
People are going to hate me for one of my worst.
Oh, no. I might even expand it, like best movies and TV shows. So, like your top 5 of whatever you want to put in the list.
Okay.
So, to make it a little bit more
Did they have to
flexible.
start in 25, or could they have just ended in 25?
They have to be in 2025 at some point. It doesn't matter if it starts or ended. So, like if it's season 4 of something, you can still do it because it aired in 2025.
Okay.
All right, we're going to end the poll in the Reloaded chat and see what everybody picked. 36% voted essay video on the future of DCU. Okay, that's cool because that'll be the second essay video of the month. So now we have 2. We're going to have 2 in January. That'll be the second one. So let me write that in my notes. The other one is going to be the problems with phases 4 and 5. So that'll be the other essay video that I'll be doing. So that's going to be a lot of fun, I think. Fetman says, I feel like everyone's worst will be War of the Worlds and Smurfs. Oh, no. Ooh, baby, do you know what that's worth? Remember that trailer? That was so hilarious.
Yeah, forget it.
Anyway. All right, so this is where we're going to wrap it up. It feels like we're kind of winding down. I want to thank everybody for being here. If you donated super chats on the Reloaded or the Debunks channel, thank you guys so much for donating. There's 2 videos out today on both the Reloaded and Debunks channel. If you haven't seen them, I did a separate type of video on Beau DeMayo. If you haven't seen it on the Reloaded channel, I go into other stuff that we didn't talk about over here. And I talked more about Stranger Things, other stuff about Stranger Things on the Debunks channel. So go over and check those out. Anyway, thank you guys so much. We're going to head out of here. Have a good night. And I'll see you later. Go check out Jake's channel. Subscribe to Jake.
Lost Levels is back this Sunday.
Hey there, if you're seeing this, that means we have reached the end of the stream. Thanks so much for your continued support with comments, likes, subscriptions, super stickers, and super chats. I just want to give a special shout out to all of the channel members who have contributed to the success of this channel with paid tiers. On the screen, you will see your name displayed as a signal of appreciation from myself and the channel. If you would like to see your name on this list, consider selecting a tier with the join or plus button depending on your platform. Thanks again, everyone. Let's hang out soon in the next stream, and I'll see you then.